ESPN's coverage of the chase for the Sprint Cup comes to you today from the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth. Our coverage presented by GoDaddy.com. Field of 43 set to take on a very fast, treacherous track. It's a place that can chew up race cars. Last year's race here had the most dropouts and fewest finishers in this track's history. It's a place where a lot of different drivers have won. Only 2 drivers have scored a win here more than once. 14 former Texas winners in the field. Lots of possibilities as we get set for 500 miles of racing. Let's go trackside.
Please remain standing as the 302nd Military Police Company United States Army presents our nation's colors. And now, please welcome Dr. Roger Marsh of Texas Alliance Raceway Ministries as he offers today's invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we gather here at the Great American Speedway today, we want to give you thanks for all of our military personnel, both past and present, many who have given their lives for our freedoms. Father, we also pray that you would give comfort to the family and friends of NASCAR giants Jeff Burton and Jim Hunter. And as we turn our attention to today's race, it's our prayer that you would give us a safe race, an exciting race, and we thank you so much for the opportunity to do so. In Jesus' name I pray it. Amen.
To honor our troops, please place your right hand over your heart as Foreigner lead singer Kelly Hansen performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, can prove through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the
The Texas Motor Speedway is energized. Fans are revved up and ready for 500 miles of racing on a beautiful November afternoon. A race where the closest championship in NASCAR's chase era will take center stage.
Three races, 3 tested drivers, 3 steps to claim the cup in the tightest chase in history.
Trouble in turn number 2.
Harvick now has damage to the front.
Kevin Harvick fought his way back at Talladega,
Kevin Harvick coming to the front.
serving notice that for him, the chase is on. Expectations have been high for Denny Hamlin.
4 wide, and Denny Hamlin's right in the middle.
And now, he is ready for an aggressive run to the front, with a challenge in his mirror.
This is dangerous for the points leader.
Jimmie Johnson must apply the pressure.
All right, we gotta get going here.
And send a message that his drive for 5 remains alive.
All right, man, let's go. Do it now. Do it now. Let's go to the front.
Time for 500 miles, Texas style.
At Texas Motor Speedway, the stage is set for a finish of historic proportion. Just 3 races, 3 opportunities, and only 1 cup.
We're back in this thing. This is our time right here to make it happen.
Usually by this time of the season, the championship's been whittled down to just 2 drivers with a realistic chance of claiming the crown, but not this year. The added dimension of having that 3rd man in the fight means a lot. We're getting ready for those 3 to be among 40 others on this very fast and treacherous Texas Motor Speedway for 500 miles of racing. Jimmie Johnson starting 17th.
Yeah, well, he is the champ. Remember that. He's got the most experience of the other 2. He knows how to do it. I just want to see if he can do it again.
Denny Hamlin way in the back, starting in 30th position today.
He has got to get himself to the front of this race. He needs to lead some laps. He needs to garner some of those all-important bonus points that you talked about a little while ago. That could be the difference once we get to Homestead.
And Kevin Harvick, who's had a pattern for a lot of the summer months and into the fall this year, not qualifying very well, but finding a way to be at the front. At the end of the day, Harvick starts 26th.
Yeah, he's been a great closer, so you can't count him out. When it gets tough, he seems to grind halfway through the race and gets his car back up front. He could win this thing.
So the championship trio among the field of 43 as we get ready to go. Lots of intrigue, lots of excitement here at Texas Motor Speedway. 3 races to go, 3 drivers in the championship, and now a few little words to get it underway.
And now, race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome your Grand Marshal, CMA, ACM, and Grammy Award winner, Leanne Womack.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Get crank. Give me a holler. Got it cranked. I got you. Alrighty then. I heard notice.
3 drivers, 3 races, 1 champion, and 3 men in the booth who simply can't wait to call this race. And they don't have to wait because it's time. Upstairs to Marty Reed, Dale Jarrett, and Andy Petrie. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Alan. Hello again, everybody. Glad that you're with us. You wanted it. You've got it. A chase like none other. 3 men within 38 points with 3 races remaining. And it comes down to a showdown where, quite frankly, guys, we've been talking about it on Countdown. Let's talk about it one more time. You cannot play defense today.
No, you know, Marty, we're all going to be the beneficiaries of having 3 drivers involved in this championship. What it's going to make these drivers do is go as hard as they possibly can for 500 miles of mistake-free driving. They have to get the job done. They know that next pass could be the points that makes the difference when we get to Homestead in the end of that day.
And there's a lot of pressure on the crews, not just the crews on pit road, but the crews at the shop. The guys that build the engines and put these cars together. It's all about the details, and they don't want to be the one that maybe overlooks a detail that costs them a shot at winning this championship. So there's a lot of pressure on the whole team to get it done.
Let's not forget also the 40 other drivers that they're trying to make a statement as well. They've got a lot at stake, and the boys have at it. How's this going to affect this race?
Well, time's running out for a lot of hungry drivers to win a race. I mean, you just think about Jeff Gordon. It's been 62 races since he's won. He's kind of out of the championship chase right now, but he still is very hungry to win. And if he lines up beside Jimmie Johnson at the end of this race, if I was Jimmie, I'd be careful because he really wants to win, and he's going to do what it takes to do it.
Yeah, and our championship drivers are all commanding a lot of respect from these others that are out there. But we've seen our championship drivers have more troubles with their own teammates than we have some others, so they're not going to get a whole lot whenever it comes time to really try to win this race. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe Kurt Busch said it best. 6 days a week, we're teammates. On Sunday, we race, and that's what we're getting ready to do. One of those guys that wants to get back to victory lane. He's done it twice this year. He's going to start on the outside of the front row. He's our in-race reporter. It's Greg Biffle. Let's talk to him, DJ.
Hey, Greg, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
DJ.
Hey, Greg, our first question comes from our mailbag, and Frank in Ocala, Florida asks, now that the season is where it's at, are you and the Roush organization more focused on next year or just trying to win these last races?
We're really, really focused on winning these last couple of races to get the best points finish we can. And, of course, by doing that, we're learning for next year at the same time. So, you know, main effort winning these races, but that's getting us prepared for next year as well.
Hey, Greg, and talking about getting prepared, and here, too, as I watch qualifying and practice, looks like Doug Yates and his boys have given these Fords a little more horsepower under the hood.
Yeah, the engines are running great, the Stude FR9 engines. Running really, really good, and you know, RPM has helped us on the front suspension, and our cars have been running exceptionally well since Chicago. And we're just, I'm real excited about how today's going to turn out. Got a really fast car.
All right, Greg, thanks for talking with us. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you later on.
Our over-the-wall reporter today is Mark Hollywood Armstrong. He's the front tire changer on Robbie Gordon's number 7. And Hollywood, let's talk about strategy today.
Well, Marty, one thing about Texas, it's big and it's fast, but strategy down here on pit road is going to be try to do everything right. Get your driver in and out of the pits as quickly as possible. But something tells me that towards the end of this race, one of the biggest strategies that could come down to is this fuel. It might not be what you get in the car that can help you win the race, but what these guys don't get in could stop them from going to victory lane. Marty.
All right, you guys be safe down there. Cars are rolling out. When we come back, we go green with 3 races left to decide the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. Back here at Texas Motor Speedway, starting grid across the top of your screen, Elliott Sadler, the 18th different pole sitter this year, ties the modern era record. Trevor Baynes going to the rear. They had transmission change, and several guys did not make the race. 6, in fact, J.J. Yeley, Scott Briggs, Michael McDowell, Jeff Green, Josh Wise, and Brian Keselowski. Let's get the latest from pit road. Jamie Little, what's up?
Marty, the name of the game is strategy. That's what it comes down to. Remember last week with Kevin Harvick, he stayed out on 1 round of pit stops just to keep the 48 from leading a lap. So what's the plan today? They told me to match him. If the 48 leads a lap, they must lead a lap at all costs. And at the end of the day, they must finish at least 2 positions ahead of the 48. Vince Welch?
It's the tightest battle among the top 3 drivers in Chase history. Jimmie Johnson knows that finishing ahead of the 11 and 29 today may well mean winning the race. Jimmie likes it that way. It's simpler. He knows he has one thing to do today. No defense, just offense. Just win. Dave Burns?
In terms of competition, it is on, even on pit road. That's because when Jimmie Johnson and Denny Hamlin pit, they can play some games with each other because they're pitted right next to each other. That's because when given the option, crew chief Mike Ford decided to take the pit stall right in front of Johnson. He said it was the best option for our team logically, but it was also a bit of a payback for what the 48 chose next to us when we were at Kansas. Count the 11 in on gamesmanship. Dr. Jerry Punch?
You know, with all the questions surrounding the future of Richard Petty Motorsports, how truly appropriate was they came to Texas and made a statement by qualifying all 4 cars in the top 13. Nothing epitomizes NASCAR more than a winning car tied to the name Petty. And today, pole sitter Elliott Sadler would like nothing better than to add to that legacy. Now, Marty Reed, they say everything is bigger in Texas, but how huge would it be for a car fielded by the King to go to victory lane here today?
Oh, so right, Doc, as we are getting ready to go green. Down on the pit wall, all the crew members were online as they came by. Here was the pep talk from the 48 crew chief.
All right, fellas, beautiful day for a race today. Let's go out there and have some fun. Just like what we spoke about, boys. Game on from this point on. 3 races, live and die by. Jimmy, let's go have some fun.
So you heard from Chad Knaus. Let's also take a look at the track facts here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Marty, this place here has been a no limit zone for the whole weekend. There is one area there's a speeding limit on pit road. Don't get caught speeding. It could be hazardous to your championship hopes.
13 tickets handed out this year alone to chase contenders during the chase. So we're getting ready now as they are into turn number 3. Elliott Sadler alongside with Greg Biffle, then Edwards, Montoya, Reagan, Kurt Busch. That is your first 3 rows. And if you noticed on the pace lap, with the time change, the shade has already started to roll across turn number 1. This race is going to end right at dusk. The track is going to change, definitely.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to work hard all day long and be ready to make some serious adjustments when it comes time to win.
Pace car pulls off. They come down slowly, 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 and the AAA Texas 500, race number 8 in the chase, is green. Everybody made it out of turn 2. It was so treacherous all weekend long, as it always has been, and here it is side by side coming through turns 3 and 4. Biffle wants the lead, so does Elliott Sadler.
Yeah, Elliott really wanted to lead that first lap, but Biffle's going to get him by a nose.
So Biffle gets credited with lap number 1. Third place you see Carl Edwards, Montoya, Kurt Busch, David Reagan.
Well, Elliott not giving up on the bottom though.
Now Carl Edwards slides up behind Biffle.
Yeah, Carl Edwards really excited about his race car here this weekend.
And here he goes on the high side, looking to get around Elliott Sadler.
Yeah, I thought that outside groove would take a few laps to work in, but it's there right now.
Yeah, you can see Carl Edwards, that's the groove he used to stop Kyle Busch's streak in the nationwide race yesterday.
Ford's running 1, 2, and 3, but here comes Juan Pablo Montoya. The blue paint scheme this week on the 42. He's got David Reagan right up underneath him. Whoa, and he gets loose. I don't know if Reagan got into him a little bit.
Well, it was really close right there. David Reagan's been extremely fast all weekend.
So out of the top 5, 4 of them are Fords right now, and they haven't had this kind of performance for quite a while. The FR9 obviously running strong so far here in the early going. Mark Martin, Kurt Busch a little bit further back. There's the shadows we were talking about. It's Tony Stewart on the right side of your screen. Paul Menard right behind him. That's a little bit further back. That is 9th and 10th position on the track. They were going under Kurt Busch. And A.J. Allmendinger looking to hook up with his number 98 Menard teammate. Check in on our chase contender, Denny Hamlin. That is Sam Hornish right in front of him. Remember, Hamlin started 30th. That's exactly where he is right now. Or started 28th, I should say.
You can see Hamlin taking a little bit easier. Kyle Busch, his teammate, started right beside him. He's already up to 23rd.
David Reagan, Juan Pablo Montoya, nose to tail still. That's Clint Boyer right behind Juan Pablo.
Yeah, well, we've seen a big improvement with the crew chief change. Drew Blichendorf going over to the 6 car, David Reagan. They've really become a solid race team now.
Yeah, watching practice yesterday, this car did look fast, and I expect to see these last 3 races be a springboard for this team going into next year.
Montoya taking that middle lane. We saw that happen early yesterday with several of the cars in the nationwide race.
Now, if anybody's going to make that high line work, it'll be Montoya. He loves it up there.
Yeah, they're having to negotiate a racetrack that they really haven't seen the entire weekend here. Much higher temperatures. Even though you talk about the shade going into 1 down there, the rest of the racetrack is much warmer than what they've experienced.
Greg Biffle has opened up a 1-second lead over Carl Edwards. Side by side, Matt Kenseth, the 39 of Ryan Newman, and here comes Jimmie Johnson. That is for 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Yeah, these guys are not blasting up through the field like I kind of expected. I kind of expected the 48 and Denny Hamlin to really move up quickly, and they haven't done that so far.
Did you see that wiggle Truex had about a corner and a half ago? He managed to gather it back up, and he's closing quickly on the 39.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Newman's really struggling with his race car right now.
How about Jeff Burton going underneath the Kurt Busch?
Kurt Busch going up there already where nobody else has been.
Yeah, you could tell that by all the dust flying out from under his car.
David Rudiman in the 00 trying to get up underneath Kurt as well.
Loose in, horribly tight to center, lift off. Welcome to my world, boys. We got 334 more of these. I'll probably pull out a right front before we get there.
That's not thinking too positive right there, is it?
That's a tough situation, especially as you start during the day and have that looseness in and off, but then you compound the problem with a car that won't turn in the center.
Yeah, that's the problem with that. You can't make a quick adjustment to change that dynamic of being loose and getting in the corner tight in the middle and loose off. If it was one thing all the way through the corner, pretty easy to fix, but you can't fix that easily.
They're still side by side. Rudiman cannot finish the deal. There's Jeff Gordon trying to get a little closer to these two as well.
One thing that's going to happen, though, this track is going to change quite a bit. It may end up changing in favor of Kurt Busch. So he's got to hang in there, just see how things develop.
Rudiman finally takes over that number 12th spot, bumps Busch back to 13th. Gordon now running 14th. Saw Jeff Burton right in front of the 00. There he is. And then Matt Kenseth a little bit further back. Here comes Busch, going to try the high side again. Boy, he is running up higher than anybody has.
But you can see that there is some rubber that's laid down there. He has to be he has to be a little bit careful not to get too far up there and get into some of that the rubber that was going off of these tires and going up to the very top. But
well, Greg Biffle's out in front. Roush Fenway Racing got its 13th NASCAR win at Texas yesterday in the nationwide race. Oh, caution on the racetrack up into the wall. Smoke on the 87. Joe Nemechek.
Saw this developing down.
Still has oil pressure. I don't know. It's oil. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you can smell the oil coming out of it.
Yeah, down the end of the front straightaway, you saw some smoke, and then it got more serious as he got down into turns 1 and 2.
Actually slid up, and yeah, you can see the damage on the right side as well as he did brush the wall.
We'll give you 4 tires. Guys, if the tires are up, we'll have to look under the hood.
Back here is what happened.
Yeah, looks like something happened under the hood. Oil probably getting down on the tire, see, and that's why he goes up the track and gets in the wall. Actually, you know what? He got in the wall early in the race, like the first lap off of turn 2. He scraped that wall. That may have been where this damage came from. That might just be the engine.
You may be right, Andy. You may be very, very right there. So you can see that they're in splash of fuel. And question is now, who else will come down pit road? Have we completed 12 of the scheduled 334 laps?
Not a lot of grip on this racetrack in the sun. I would expect to see everybody come get some tires, whether it be 2 or 4.
Yeah, the question is going to be how many. We'll see.
All right, let's find out, Jamie Little. They're coming your way.
David Reagan has been solid in these opening laps. Just a little free on entry. The call this early, right sides only. Dave?
Leader Greg Biffle may make a 2-tire stop. They've been talking about it. His car was real loose. Just adding those 2 tires might tighten it up. Carl Edwards running 3rd. His car was free in tight on max compression, free off. Just a slight air pressure adjustment. 2 tires for Biffle, 2 tires for Edwards. Doc.
Elliott Sadler, I need more front grip, right side tire change, air pressure, the race off, track position, so important here. And Elliott Sadler will gain a couple of spots, guys.
All right, Doc, the faster shows us the race off pit road, and there is a tire sitting on the infield, and we think it is from the 11.
Yeah, not only that, Jimmie Johnson had to back up. He was pitted right behind Denny Hamlin, had to back up before he could get out. So those 2 pitted beside each other is already causing problems, looks like, for both teams.
Now we're hearing it is the 48 tire.
98 hit it. Is it our fault or what's the deal here? Penalty, no penalty.
Okay, that's probably NASCAR called no penalty on that because another car hit that. It was really tight down there on pit road. Everybody kind of jammed in there.
The call was that the 98 car, you heard that over the radio, actually hit the tire, sending it out into the infield section. And you could see the guys on that crew breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, but they still lost quite a few spots there on pit road by having to back up. The crew actually pushed the car back before Jimmy could leave.
Well, Joe Nemechek's being pushed behind the wall, so it looks like they're going to have to do a lot of work on that car. Maybe the day is over for Joe. Dave Blaney was 1 lap down. He will get back onto the lead lap as he gets the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass. 42 cars now back on the lead lap here at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Texas, presented by GoDaddy.com. Back here at Texas, we can tell you the jackman for Jimmie Johnson is okay. Here's what happened. Watch the 48 right here.
Wow, that was a close call for the jackman.
And the tire ended up going out. And right now we're getting ready for the restart. Biffle, Sadler, Edwards, Boyer, Mark Martin. That's your top 5. And boy, side by side, Elliott stays right with Greg Biffle.
I think we've already established what's going to be the preferred spot to choose on these restarts at high line.
Biffle takes the spot back again. He has led all but 1 lap. Robbie Gordon stayed out and led a lap during that caution period.
Well, Edwards got a big head of steam right here on the front stretch.
There he goes, looking down into turn number 1, driving into the shade. He is closing right up on the 16.
Boy, the 99 car is really good. You see how much quicker he got back to the throttle on Greg Biffle right there.
A lot of momentum for Carl coming off yesterday's big win in the Nationwide Series event.
Yeah, he gets loose right there, though.
That could have been costly.
Yeah, he pushed it just a little too hard to get into 3.
He'll drop back now and loses about 2 to 3 car lengths. Allows Elliott Sadler to get closer. That car in 4th place. Mark Martin with Clint Boyer in 5th. And Jeff Gordon has now moved all the way up to 6th position. In fact, he's picked up 9 spots since the beginning of the race. Let's check in on Jimmie Johnson. He restarted 16th. He is up to 13th right now. Now move him a little bit further up to 12th. And he's looking to get around Martin Truex.
Yeah, they took those 2 tires on that pit stop, and they would have gained a lot more spots had that little hiccup not happened where they had to back up. But he's looks like his car likes 2 tires.
I can tell you, Kevin Harvick is 21st right now. Denny Hamlin running 27th. Speaking of Harvick, there he is. And right now, I'm not thinking he's going to be happy because the car doesn't seem to be responding.
Yeah, but I think he's okay with what's going on right now. You can see his teammate Jeff Burton, who was running up in the top 10. He got 4 tires there, though. But it looks like Harvick's okay, Jenny.
Well, so far he's all right, guys. He ended up taking 4 tires in that first round of pit stops, but he told me and all of us through practice this car was so inconsistent, and he said it had a lot to do with the tires, so he really wasn't sure how it was going to handle today. They're going to continue working on it, guys, but expect them to take 4 every chance they can get.
All right, Jimmy, and he wasn't happy with the tire yesterday in the nationwide race either.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is that he just doesn't agree with the way his car is anyway.
He ended up finishing 8th in that race yesterday, and everybody up here thought he was going to contend for the win. Jeff Burton's got his hands full right now with the 39 of Ryan Newman. And Jimmie Johnson side by side with the 98. In fact, he's passed Paul Menard.
Yeah, and that may look insignificant right now, but Paul Menard is the car that's parked right behind Jimmie Johnson in the pits. That's what caused Jimmie to have to get in at an angle and then couldn't get out because Denny Hamlin had him blocked in. So that might have looked insignificant, but it's a big pass for Jimmie Johnson.
How about the battle for 3rd right now? Mark Martin feeling racy here in the early going as he gets past Elliott Sadler. Clint Boyer going to try and follow him.
Seems like this 5 team has really hit on something in the last few weeks. Really got their performance back up a notch.
Mark finished 11th at Talladega last week. Check in on Denny Hamlin right now. He's moved up to 23rd. He's trying to get around Marcus Ambrose for another spot, and he does.
Now, he took 4 tires that last pit stop.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out if we have a long run.
He got a car in the wall off turn 4. Looked like it was Kurt Busch.
Well, we got Dave Blaney smoking as well.
Yeah, looked like Kurt Busch did catch a piece of that wall, though, pretty good off 4.
Yeah, he was high in 1 and 2 the last lap, too. So
it may have been something coming out of this car. I'm not sure.
I can tell you Robbie Gordon stopped again. He is now 1 lap down. Blaney has made it safely to pit road. You can see him there at the right side of your screen. Biffle's picking up where he left off. He's got a 1.3-second lead, and he's opening it up. Here comes Gordon on the high side of David Reagan. And that's for 6th.
Yeah, Kurt Busch has a real problem with his car. I don't know what he's got going on.
Let's check back there. You can see Kurt.
Yeah, he pounded that wall pretty good. Probably just trying to see what he's got here.
He is all the way back to 36th position and still fading. So not a good day so far for the Blue Deuce. Started this race 6th and has been going backwards since the drop of the green flag. Doc, what are you hearing about Kurt's situation?
Well, it has been just simply a miserable weekend for this 2 bunch. They really tried 3 major wholesale chassis changes yesterday and had the same issue. Loose in, tight in the middle, and loose off. They could fix the loose in and loose off, but couldn't fix it tight in the middle. And you saw what tight in the middle will do. Kurt trying to hang on, and he pancakes the wall. Now, the spotter is talking to him. They're watching the car. They don't see any smoke or fender rub right now. They think if he can hang on and maybe get a yellow flag, he can come in and not lose all this valuable time. But they also don't want to take any chances here at these speeds with their driver. So the crew is up on the wall watching, and Kurt will make the call if he wants to come in and have them fix that right side.
All right, Doc. Rusty, you noticed something from your position?
Yeah, I've talked to Kurt Busch after the Charlotte race was over. You guys remember he dominated the All-Star race in the Coca-Cola 600, and then they came back with the same style setup, and the car was just basically junk. They built some new chassis, and Kurt is real unhappy with the cars. And one thing he's complained about is the car's rolling a lot of body roll. And I've been noticing the left front corner, the air dam is getting itself up off the ground, and the car's actually pushing the front end very badly as it's going at the corner. So these guys have definitely got a chassis issue they got to work on, and Kurt just doesn't know what it is. He said it's amazing that we dominate a race and go back and be so far off.
And after the great victory yesterday, Brad Keselowski winning the first championship for Penske Racing, this has got to be a big disappointment as you see Kurt just slogging along in 36th. How about Denny Hamlin? He has moved up to the 21st position, and he's gotten around Ambrose Ryan Newman is his next target. What's the latest you're hearing, Dave?
Might you remember just a few points back from Jimmie Johnson at the start of the day. So far it's been interesting. Got a little contact with Marcus Ambrose early. That got him a little bit disconcerted, but no real damage to the right rear of the race car. Then following this round of pit stops, he quickly had this to say on the radio.
Got a little bit of a vibration. Don't know where it's come from.
He hasn't said anything after that. A little bit of a vibration. He's still moving forward past Ryan Newman right now. Denny Hamlin working his way toward the front. Remember, he started 30th.
How many times did we hear that word vibration yesterday in the nationwide race?
Yeah, we did. We heard that quite a bit. You don't want to hear that, though, when you're trying to run for a championship.
Well, Hamlin's now into the 20th position. The race leader is Greg Biffle here at our race at Texas, presented by GoDaddy.com. Welcome back to the AAA Texas 500. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And also, make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear's Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver, enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus, and other great prizes. We've completed 37 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. Battle for fourth right there between Elliott Sadler and Clint Boyer. And Boyer taking over the spot. We can also tell you during the break, Mark Martin has taken over the second position from Carl Edwards, but he's still got to go about 2.5 seconds farther forward to catch up to race leader Greg Biffle. And yes, that is Jimmie Johnson, who's moved up to 6th. How about Kyle Busch, as we're looking at 8th, 9th, and 10th, and Kyle is on the move. Remember, he started way back in this field. He has picked up 20 positions, Dave.
Marty, he started 29th, and I talked to crew chief Dave Rogers about that. Whoa, as he clears Paul Menard. Roger said they really had a shot at the pole. Cool temperatures, aggressive driver, and an adjustment that they were watching other cars to wait and make, the cars that went out ahead of him. He said, I just missed it on the setup. Kyle drove it aggressively. We just didn't get there. So they were confident that their car could move through the field. They thought they might start the day a little further forward.
He was fastest in both practices yesterday. You guys were talking about the fact that he is one of those guys that we had to watch because he almost won this race last year. And here comes Jimmie Johnson going around Elliott Sadler to move Johnson to the top 5.
Every time I look at that monitor, that's the fastest car I see is that 48. He's working that high side, and it's working really good for him. He's not all the way next to the wall, but he's running up pretty high.
We'll let you know that Kevin Harvick right now is in 14th position, looking to take another spot away from Juan Pablo Montoya.
Man. Yeah, he and Jimmie Johnson both are utilizing this high line, making a nice run off the corner and making a lot of time.
Looking to go 3 wide there as Kenseth's trying on the low line, and there you see the 14 of Tony Stewart.
I think Stewart's got the best car of that little group right there. He's been running the bottom kind of, but he's got a really good car. He just can't get around Harvick. He's kind of paced Harvick up through the field here.
We'll let you know that Denny Hamlin is running 19th right now in the sequence of events. A lot of cars bunched up there for a little bit. Tony pulls back in behind the 29. Now says, okay, let's try it again down low.
See, Tony's car really working good lower on the racetrack than those other 2 cars he's racing. You see going around A.J. Allmendinger trying to right now. That highlight just has so much momentum, you can't complete that pass.
Let's get an update on Tony Stewart. How about it, Jamie?
Well, I talked to his crew chief, Darian Grubb, this morning, and he said the way they unloaded wasn't the best, but he said they kept doing long runs, lap after lap after lap. He said by the end of happy hour yesterday, their car was good. He said, just watch for us, be patient. We're going to be good on the long runs, and that's exactly what's happening, guys. We have caution on the track for debris.
Yep.
Marty?
We've got debris on the racetrack. Our second caution here on lap number 43. As the yellow flies for the second time today. It will wipe out that 2-second lead that Greg Biffle had over Mark Martin. And again, another opportunity for some hectic pit stops.
Yeah, still a lot of cars on the lead lap, so it'll be congested down there. We still have 38 cars on the lead lap.
Let's update you on 4 cars that have taken it behind the wall. Landon Castle, Travis Kvapil, Blaney, Joe Nemechek. Our Aaron's lucky dog is going to go to Robbie Gordon. He'll get back on to the lead lap. That'll give us a total of 39 cars back on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing.
So that means everybody on the racetrack still on the lead lap.
So do you switch strategies now? If you took 2 the first time, you're going to be forced to take 4?
Yeah, you're going to have to
more
do
than
that.
likely
That's what you'll do. You still might see a 2-tire guy spread in the field, but somebody that took 4 the last time. But if you took 2 the first time, you need 4 right now.
Well, they're coming your way, Vince Welch.
Jimmie Johnson pretty happy with his race car right now. He says it's a little free into turn 3, and he really feels some tightness coming off the corner in traffic. The big thing for them on this pit stop, get into the box a little bit early so they can make those changes and not have to back it out like they did last time. Dave Burns?
Vince, Greg Biffle's race car is still very loose. They're going to put a spring rubber in the left rear. That's going to take a little time. 4 tires, Doc.
Mark Martin said, my car is so good, Alan, don't do a thing. Put 4 tires on it, top it off with Sunoco, and let me go. Don't touch a thing. Dave.
Denny Hamlin is on pit road as well. His race car for Hamlin, loose in and off, track bar and air pressure adjustment for Denny. 4 tires.
In the faster race off pit road, Denny Hamlin got blocked by the 82 of Scott Speed. It is going to cost him a ton of spots.
Look at Kyle Busch, though. His team continues to get it done on pit road.
So Kyle started 29th in this race, and look where he is going to end up here in just 43 laps. Here's what happened to Denny.
He had to come in at an angle because the 48 was already in his stall, and you can see that just kind of stacks up as you go down pit road. The 82 car Scott Speed was in there also crooked, so he had to back up. That's a real frustrating thing.
That little gamesmanship of picking that after the 48 had picked there to kind of be right with them can work against you until you can be in front of them on the racetrack and make it easier to get in your pit stall.
All right, we'll reset it for you and go back to green flag racing when we return here to Texas. Our race presented by GoDaddy.com. Back here at Texas Motor Speedway, where we have another new leader. Mark Martin will get the privilege of leading the field down. Here's the 3 pit stops of our chase contenders.
Yeah, you see right there, Jimmie Johnson and Denny Hamlin had decent pit stops, but Jimmie lost a couple spots, and you can see that 4 spots that Denny lost really by not being able to pull out of his pit stop. But look at Harvick. His team's doing a great job gaining him a spot.
Well, and Denny Hamlin, he ended up coming in 19th. He loses 6 spots on this exchange. It's Martin, Edwards, Kyle Busch, Biffle, and Sadler, and we're green again at Texas. Mark becomes our 5th different leader. The man who's led the most laps right behind him, Greg Biffle's led 42.
Biffle come back in that 3rd spot. These restarts is where he's been able to really get out and kind of distance himself from the rest of the field.
On board with Kevin Harvick. Right now in 11th, going around Gordon to take over the 10th spot if he can seal it.
Biffle trying to work the inside of Carl Edwards. Now he goes to the high side down in 1 and 2.
Side by side with Carl Edwards, and that drops off so quickly there coming out of 2. Here comes Clint Boyer taking a look inside the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Well, Kyle was flying right before that caution came out. See how far he can go.
Jimmie Johnson back in 7th right now.
Like his car not only fast on new tires, but he's really good as the tires get a few laps. Here goes Biffle for the lead.
Boy, Greg Biffle has got himself a race car today, folks. Woo! He has just shot past Mark Martin to retake the lead.
Well, we heard him talking in the countdown show how much they agonized over making some changes. He wasn't sure he made the right ones for the day, but looks like they're working pretty well.
Another guy on the move, Jimmie Johnson trying to get around. Elliott Sadler, our pole sitter. The battle for 6th. And he gets it done. So moving back into the 6th position. He'll set sail now, try to catch Clint Boyer. There you see Harvick on the top side. He's running in 10th place right now, trying to get around David Rudiman. Pardon me, Harvick's now 11th, trying to take over the 10th spot.
Looks like Rudiman's one going forward here.
Behind Harvick, you've got Jeff Gordon, then Joey Logano, and Martin Truex. A little bit further back, let's check in on Denny Hamlin. Remember, he started way back. He's into the 25th spot right now.
Yeah, getting on and off pit road so critical in these races with all these cars so competitive. You come out 25th, you see he's having to race a lot of cars here. Harvick, on the other hand, they made up spots on pit road. Now he was racing for a top 10 spot.
What's the latest you're hearing, Dave?
Well, just to explain a little bit further that situation with the 82, which he now goes by Scott Speed. Crew Chief Ryan Pemberton for the silver car there, he came and talked to Crew Chief Mike Ford beforehand, said we'll work with you as best we can. When the situation happened on pit road, Mike Ford had to radio back to his driver Hamlin, hey, the 82 did about everything they could. They're about as far forward as they could. So trying to work together, but sometimes you can just only do as much as you can do.
Looked like Jamie McMurray may have brushed the wall right in front of him. We'll check on that. Battle for 3rd right now as Kyle Busch goes past Carl Edwards like he's standing still.
Yeah, I think Carl gave him that spot. He saw how hard he was charging up through there. And at this point in the race, that's kind of a gentlemanly thing to do. Just let him go. And later in the race, that might come back to you. It's like 31
Jeff
cars.
Burton, yeah, has a problem. He's coming to pit road.
Jeff Burton has trouble. He is entering pit road as we continue here under green. There you see from high above. Jamie, what's going on?
Well, you see the guys working on the right side. I believe it was a vibration. He said he killed the front turn on the race car before that last round of stops, and he just lost overall grip. So he has been struggling with the car the entire race. We saw him change the tires, wipe the front grill. We'll see if this will make the car any better, Marty.
Well, it's going to put him a lap down in 38th position right now, but he gets back out onto the track.
Like
and Ryan Newman is also coming in, so all of a sudden some unscheduled pit stops.
I'll tell you, that competition is so stout down there.
Vince? 4 tires on it while he's hooking his stuff up.
Well, the 39 of Ryan Newman, they're going to go ahead and put 4 tires on it, but the issue for him has been inside the car. His seat belt have come undone. So Ryan Newman had to come in for this stop to reattach his seat belts. While he's doing that, they're going to put on 4 fresh Goodyears.
Did you ever have it happen to you?
Oh, wow. Not to the point that I couldn't get it hooked back, but I came really close a number of times. And what happens is, get that steering wheel close, your uniform gets caught on a buckle or something and just clips that, and wow, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's crazy. You don't hear that very often, but you can't run out there without seat belts. Saw 2 of them come in a row. I thought maybe 2 loose wheels in a row, but that's pretty crazy right there.
Ryan also 1 lap down now. He's in 38th position. Now, we mentioned Jamie McMurray tagging the wall a little bit right here. Just brushed it with the quarter panel.
Yeah, he should be okay. That wasn't too hard.
Yeah, but Denny Hamlin was hoping he's going to gather that thing back in, wasn't he?
So, Greg Biffle, 1.1 second lead over Mark Martin with Kyle Busch now in 3rd. Biff looking for win number 3 this year. Saw you. Under our 3rd caution here after 59 laps because Sam Hornish slid into the wall and he almost made it a lot worse.
You can see his car just got loose in the center. 3 up into the wall. A lot of debris flying around. Nice save at the exit, though.
It could have been worse if he'd have turned it around there. He could have collected some others. Let's go down to pit road. Vince.
The 48 of Jimmie Johnson coming in. The entry into the pit box has been a key issue for them so far through these first 2 stops. Just 2 tires for Jimmie. Likes his race car. Dave?
Greg Biffle only wants 2 tires as well. The car much better this time. Still a little loose. Wedge adjustment. Doc?
No changes for Mark Martin. Right side tires. Only less than 7 seconds. He's away. Dave?
Denny Hamlin 2 tires out of his pit box cleanly. This time wedge and track bar adjustment. His race car still loose.
See the race off pit road. Elliott Sadler picks up 5 positions. Clint Boyer 1. Kyle Busch lost 2, which is rare for that crew. And Carl Edwards dropped 3 as well. This time, Denny Hamlin did not get boxed in. They took 2 tires as well. We'll reset the field and go back to green flag racing when we return here, Texas. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing here at Texas Motor Speedway, let's show you the Aaron's lucky dog, the 31 of Jeff Burton. We can tell you Ryan Newman stayed out, took the wave around. He's back on the lead lap. Total of 38 cars still on the lead lap. Now the 6th car, David Reagan's going to restart 32nd. He had missing lug nuts. He was 7th prior to the pit stops. A deathly blow for his chances. He's going to have to fight his way back to the front. Let's reset it for you. It'll be Greg Biffle, Mark Martin up front, Biffle on the high side again, Elliott Sadler, Clint Boyer, then Kyle Busch, Jimmie Johnson. That's the first 3 rows. Denny Hamlin's back in 11th. Kevin Harvick restarts 17th. And we're green again at the Great American Speedway.
Yeah, Mark Martin in the 5 car really spinning his tires trying to get going there.
Biffle gets another one of those great restarts and starts opening up the lead quickly again. Jimmie Johnson's on the high side looking to get around the 18 of Kyle Busch. Now he's going to try low. Nope, now falls back into line. David Ruderman side by side with Carl Edwards. That's a little bit further back. The battle there for 7th position. Busch and the 19th side by side. There's Denny Hamlin as he is trying to work his way back up. They had a great pit stop this last time, taking the 2 tires. He's now shown in 9th, guys.
That's more like the race that they were planning on running, making up a little time, getting themselves in much better position where they don't have to race quite as hard at this point in time of the race.
Kevin Harvick's got his hands full, though, with Tony Stewart right now. He is shown in 18th position.
Yeah, he took 4 tires that last stop. Denny Hamlin, on the other hand, he took 2 and had the fastest pit stop on pit road with those 2 tires.
And we can tell you Jimmie Johnson's team also took 2, in case you missed it. Let's get an update on Kevin Harvick. Jamie Little.
Well, Marty, you mentioned it. Kevin Harvick's team, his crew chief Gil Martin opted to take 4 tires that time, and his driver wasn't too happy about it.
Pretty much everything we just gained, we just lost.
Time for a full green run, though.
Doesn't matter. You can't give up that much track position, Gil.
And the last voice you heard there was his boss man, Richard Childress, not happy about the call either. But remember, they had problems with tires in practice, and they want to take 4 every time. You got to watch Kevin Harvick now back in traffic, trying to get around the 24.
Going to go 3 wide if it's not careful. Oh, and Speed gets loose. Truex gives him enough room. Here comes Harvick underneath Speed.
I don't understand why they would have taken. They took 2 tires earlier and everything seemed to be pretty good with their race cars. So a little surprised at that call.
You see Richard up on top of the hauler. Down the backstretch is Tony Stewart side by side with Martin Truex. Now Truex gets about a half a car length on him.
Now here's the thing, though. If you get a long green run, those 4 tires will come in handy for Kevin Harvick, and Gil Martin will look smart.
Can you make up that much, though? I mean, they're going to fall off.
It's going to be tough.
We saw these guys skate 2 earlier. Of course, they haven't run that full time, but that's a lot of time to make up. And you put your driver in a much more stressful situation.
How about Kyle Busch going on Clint Boyer for 3rd, and Jimmie Johnson's just watching it all. Kyle's got the spot, and here comes Jimmie to follow. And he makes it look easy. So Kyle's now 3rd, Johnson 4th, Boyer back to 5th. You know, you guys were talking about green flag runs. Jimmy Hicks, our longest, has been 26 laps so far in this race. We've completed 69.
Yeah, we won't consider that a long green flag run yet. I think we're going to see things we typically see, some longer green flag runs, but you know, we're just seeing a very slick racetrack, and it's creating some issues for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, well, with Gil Martin, the crew chief on Kevin Harvick's car, he didn't know how many were going to take 2 when he made that decision. He was kind of banking on a few more doing the same thing, and that's what's put him so far back.
Well, he just got around Jeff Gordon. He picks up the 15th position. Gil on the box.
I don't think this isn't going to be something that, obviously, unless they get involved in an accident, it's going to be devastating to their chances to win this race because we have so many laps to go.
A little further back, the battle for 19th with Juan Pablo Montoya and Tony Stewart. Montoya coming off that great run at Talladega where he ended up 3rd. Tony Stewart finished 31st. Wanted to forget that week. Carl is all of a sudden moving in the wrong direction. What is happening to Edwards? He's back to 12th, Dave.
He restarted 8th, Marty, so that's a net loss of 4. The car is tied off of turn 2 all day long so far. They've been working on a loose race car, changing the wedge in that. So I think they've gotten it as far as they want to in terms of taking the loose out of it. Tied off 2.
Well, and how much of that is the changing track conditions? I mean, the shadows keep getting longer here on the front straightaway and through turn 1.
Well, the track definitely is changing. They'll have to keep up with that.
Denny Hamlin down low, trying to get another spot as he's trying to work his way to front.
Hopefully it'll break all the way up.
Hamlin now 7th.
And back to Carl Edwards just a second. A lot of times that 2 tires will make your car a little tighter too.
That radio you heard was Kyle Busch. He's got his hands full right now with Jimmie Johnson. What is that on the front of his race car?
Yeah, he's got some kind of debris flapping on the front. Yeah, that can actually feel like a vibration to the driver when you have something that big flapping on the front.
He's hooked on one of the braces there for the splitter. It'd be difficult to get off. I'm sure at some point in time it's going to wear off at speeds of running here.
Got drag like.
Right, you heard him say we got drag. Ooh, got a little tail happy too. I don't know, it looked like one of those big garbage bags that you'd have.
That's what it looks like. I mean, it won't affect the performance too much. I mean, he can probably feel that as a vibration, but it shouldn't hurt him too much.
Well, he ran a 30.8 the last lap, 30.7 this lap, as we now focus on the battle for 8th. Matt Kenseth and Elliott Sadler. Kenseth clears him by a good 2 car lengths, and meanwhile Greg Biffle continues to run up front with a 1.3 second lead. He has now led 68 laps of the 75 that we have run. The Biff, I guess that move they made has paid off so far. A look at the beautiful racing palace known as Texas Motor Speedway. And right now, Sprint brings you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. And Right now, the points are shaking out like this. Jimmie Johnson would be in front by 33 now over Denny Hamlin. And losing a lot of ground back to 82 would be Kevin Harvick. But again, a lot of racing still to go. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprintcup.com/speed. And fastest lap is, of course, Greg Biffle, as you can see there, at 29 seconds. He now leads by 1.4 seconds over Mark Martin. Then Jimmie Johnson has now moved into third position, 3 seconds behind. Clint Boyer has gotten around Kyle Busch into fourth. Let's go up to speed and get the latest. Started off with Dave Burns.
Marty, it's a great day so far for Roush Fenway Racing, and I had a chance to talk to Jack Roush this morning about the improvements in their program in the latter half of the year. He said to me, yeah, I really wish this had been the first part of the year, but I'm happy for the improvements that we're making. He said that the program is working well, except for some engine issues at Fontana a few weeks ago. We've scaled back our tuning just a little bit. We feel confident about our performance. He said, I'd like to be doing it with just a little bit more flair, though. Maybe a win today would be flair in Jack's mind. Doc?
And back behind him is the 5-car Mark Martin. Alan Gustafson said since Dover, this 5 team is the 5 team of a year ago. Running up front, leading laps, being in contention to win races. He said today our strength will be long green flag runs. Our weakness will be the short runs at the end of the race. A moment ago, Mark Martin said, here's the good news, guys. I am really, really good. Here's the bad news. The 16 car is awesome. Vince.
The 48 of Jimmie Johnson is pretty solid right now as well, running in third position. Chad Knaus told me earlier today, we just want to get up into the top 10, put ourselves in a good position, and then when it's go time, we want to have the car that's capable of winning the race. They've made very few adjustments, minor adjustments with their car so far. They've taken 2 tires on 2 of their 3 pit stops. Jimmie right now says he's pretty good in 1 and 2, a little loose in 3 and 4. The car much better when it's in clean air. Doc?
Back behind him, the 33 car, Clint Boyer, the only 2-time winner among the chasers in the chase thus far. Clint says the car's been a little bit tight. They got some damage on the nose of this car coming on the pit road.
The championship hunt, and for Kyle to race other people hard. He did that for him at Martinsville, beat Jimmie Johnson across the finish line, and gave Denny a better opportunity. Keep your eye on Kyle. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin moving further forward to the front. The car is still just a little bit loose, but they're getting closer. Instead of really loose, they're using words like little now, Denny is, to describe the condition.
All right, thank you, guys. Let's update you on 2 cars. One, the 17, Matt Kenseth was 8th, had to make an unscheduled stop to change right side tires. He is now 1 lap down in 37th. Also an early pit stop for Juan Pablo Montoya. He's 1 lap down now in 38th. Meanwhile, Greg Biffle continues to sail here. He's got a 1-second lead over Mark Martin here at our race presented by GoDaddy.com.
Much of the early drama at Texas Motor Speedway, where the championship trio of Johnson, Hamlin, and Harvick are concerned, has been on pit road. The tire getting knocked away from Johnson's crew on the first stop. Hamlin's crew having some trouble parking and getting away on their second stop, losing some track position. Kevin Harvick's team choosing 4 tires on the last stop, put him back in the pack. All 3, though, running well so far in the early going at Texas Motor Speedway. Greg Biffle has been the dominant driver on the day, but Rusty, company's coming.
No, Mark Martin, this is good to see, man. Oh, Mark Martin's back on track. He's running great, just like the Mark of old right now. He outrun Greg Biffle about 1/10 of a second that last lap, and that old car of his is flat flying right now. It's handling very good.
Just a little piece of trash on the grill of that 5 car, something to keep an eye on, see if it blows away as he gets up in the back of that 16. Now, what about that 16, Brad?
16 car's been strong all day. Great job by Greg Biffle and Greg Irwin trying to figure out what's wrong with the car early. Seems like they've got it coming to them. Track seems to be coming to them a little bit, even though Mark's tracking them down. I think they're going to be a threat come next changeup after we go through our next sequence of pit stops to get back up front.
Greg Biffle has led 89 of the laps so far, but not the next one. There goes Mark by.
Let Mark by, see what Mark's got here for a few laps.
So Mark Martin goes out in front. Best finish this season for the 5. A second at Martinsville. 42 races since his last win a year ago, September, at New Hampshire. And by the way, company also coming in the form of Jimmie Johnson, who's closing on that lead quickly. Now, a moment ago, Juan Pablo Montoya on pit road for an unscheduled pit stop. It's dropped him well back in the pack, Jamie.
Yes, it did. Qualified 4th, and then all of a sudden, he's saying his car was wrecking loose. He thought he had a right rear going flat, so he brought it down pit road. They changed all 4, looked at all those tires, and nothing was wrong. But this track is cooling down. The car is getting looser. He's just trying to hang on. He went 1 lap down, Alan.
All right, so Montoya there with a hole to dig out of, but he's only the 2nd car a lap down, and he's back in 38th place. And take a minute and focus in on Denny Hamlin in our Gillette Pro Glide profile. Denny started the race back in 30th. You see that he has chipped his way forward and has moved his way now up into the top 5. Strong for that 11 car.
Very strong. Solid pit stops throughout the day. I mean, he's looking great right now. And he is just got that car flat flying. You know, the rest of all the chasers, Kevin Harvick's even got his car running good. They're all up there now in the top 10, and that's where they needed to be. They started way back when this race started.
Remember, Denny Hamlin started 29th and won here in the race at April 19th at Texas Motor Speedway. Something else we talked about on Countdown earlier that we'll bring up again as Jimmie Johnson closes in on Greg Biffle for 2nd. 14 points between Jimmie Johnson and Denny Hamlin. Jimmie has earned 10 more bonus points than Denny in the chase. The points you get for leading laps and leading the most laps in a race. If he gets up there and leads a lap, puts a little more pressure on that 11 car to get out front.
Absolutely. I mean, that's real money, those bonus points. I mean, they got to grind hard to get all they possibly can. Because, look, we're just in with a few points of these guys. I mean, lead a lap, lead the most laps, do whatever you can to get those bonus points. It worked for me when I won my title, I can tell you that.
Yeah, all 3 of those guys, Harvick, Hamlin, and Johnson, are very well aware of the bonus point situation. And I think we're going to get to watch here and see how hard Jimmie Johnson uses up his car to get those bonus points.
So Jimmie up to 3rd after starting the race in 17th, and again losing a little ground on that first pit stop when the tire got knocked out of the hand of his tire carrier.
Hey, I've been watching Jimmie Johnson's lap times. This guy's been flat flying. When he gets right behind the 16 car, he loses a little bit of speed. He puts it right back on the bottom of the track, and the speed comes right back up. And look at Hamlin getting underneath Boyer right now. He's got his car working.
That's 4th spot Denny Hamlin's picking up, so he is 1 spot behind Jimmie Johnson on the racetrack now.
He has got him in his sights, and wherever Jimmie goes is where Denny is headed.
It's the great thing about this championship with 3 drivers so close together. They've all got to race hard. They've all got to be up front. And right now you've got Johnson in 3rd, Hamlin in 4th, and Kevin Harvick running back in 10th position. He's made his way back forward after giving up some track position for the strategy on the last stop. 102 laps complete. Another round of pit stops coming up after a long green flag run.
top three are in your screen. Sam Hornish's lap traffic pit stops have started early here. Biffle is still out in front. And the 29 of Kevin Harvick is in. Jamie.
He is in. His car's great on a long run. Want to make it better for the short run. Air pressure adjustment. You see there, 4 tire stops. This time around, it seemed to work last time. Dave?
Carl Edwards is in halfway back on the adjustment that made his car tight. That's wedge in the left rear. That's a 4 tire stop on the 99. 16 of Greg Biffle is on pit road now. He just misses Scott's speed and lets him know. Didn't appreciate the cutout right there. They're going to take a shim out of the left front suspension to help that car be a little bit less loose for Greg Biffle. Loose everywhere, very fast, but difficult for the driver to control. Full of Sunoco fuel, 4 tires working on that left front, and now they finish and Greg is gone. Vince.
There's the 48 of Jimmie Johnson. Been pretty pleased with his car throughout most of the day today, but right now he says it's just too loose. They're going to go a round and a half down on the track bar. It's going to be a 4-tire change for Jimmie Johnson to give him a tear off as well. Chad Knaus, his crew chief, says one of the strengths of this team is dialing in the car throughout the course of the race. They've been massaging it. He's been running up toward the front. We'll see if he's got enough as this race goes on.
Jeff Gordon says I have 2 different race cars here, one on entry and one on exit. They're vastly different in terms of being loose in, tight in the middle, and tight off. Major air pressure change by Steve Lapart. Jeff is down and away. Dave.
11 car of Denny Hamlin still loose, according to the driver. They will make a 4-tire change. Wedge adjustment for Hamlin on the 11 car. See how they complete their work? The wedge wrench is actually on the right side. It may be a track bar adjustment. They've got a free pit exit, so Denny's crew is done, and they leave.
Both Denny and Jimmie led laps during that sequence of green flag pit stops. So no gain for those two, but Kevin Harvick did not lead a lap yet. Mark Martin right now shown as our race leader. We'll have to wait for NASCAR scoring to cycle through.
And what we're going to see as all this happens, Jimmie Johnson had a really slow pit stop. They had a lot of problems on the right front. Lose quite a bit of time to the leaders. And to Denny Hamlin.
Greg Biffle going around Kyle Busch.
A 16.5-second stop for Jimmie Johnson.
So Martin's lead right now over Matt Kenseth is 1.2 seconds. 2 seconds more back to David Rudiman in third. Boyer is now shown fourth. Logano 5th, Biffle back to 6th, Kyle Busch 7th, Harvick 8th, Hamlin 9th. And there you see Denny Hamlin. There's the crew comparison.
Yeah, they had a good stop. You see that 12.9. That's a pretty good stop for 4 tires. And you see right here, he's passing Kevin Harvick, who pitted just a few laps, or maybe a couple of laps before Denny did. So Denny's got just a little bit fresher tires now. But, you know, you go back to the 29 stop when they took 4. He's actually dug his way out of it. Jamie?
Matt Kenseth, the 17 car is in. He said the car is getting pretty warm. 255. Watch the amount of tape. He's down and away. They tighten him up. 4 tires.
And on the right side of your screen, Denny Hamlin now into the 7th position. And if you're wondering what Jimmie Johnson is, he is back in 11th as a result of the slow pit stop. In fact, he has a total of about 3 seconds behind Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he's almost 10 seconds behind the leader, and you can remember he was just a second behind Mark Martin before all the pit stops started.
We talked about mistakes on pit road could cost you, and it's right now reared its ugly head for the 48.
Yeah, they also took a chance by staying out there. They wanted to get those 5 points. They stayed out there a little bit longer, as did Denny Hamlin. But then with the bad pit stop, all of that combined puts Jimmie Johnson pretty far behind.
Denny Hamlin makes it look easy going around his teammate Kyle Busch, carrying the momentum through the corner. So move Denny now into the 6th position. And a little bit further back, there's the 48.
Andy, this is something we've seen that we've talked about Jimmie Johnson's pit crew just being a little bit suspect, especially probably of the 3 championship contenders, probably their third
That's really the only Achilles heel this team has. It seems like this year is on pit road. And it's not been big things that's costing them. It's just a little here and there. That one right there wasn't a disaster, but, you know, 3 seconds slower on a pit stop can lose you a lot of track position, especially under green.
You see where Jimmie is on the track. There is your race leader, Mark Martin. And that shows you the difference between first place and 10th place. Vince, what are you hearing on the 48 camp right now?
Well, crew chief Chad Knaus kept his composure despite that slow stop. You noted they had a little problem on the right front. They had trouble getting the tire on. It wasn't an issue of dropping a lug nut or any of that matter. It was just a matter of getting that right front tire on. We're slow in that category. Certainly slowed down their stop. They've been happy with the race car, though. They made a track bar adjustment, as we noted on that last pit stop, to try to snug Jimmie up. But he and Chad have been fairly happy with the way things have gone so far. They like the balance of their race car, and they know staying on top of these changing track conditions will be key as the shadows creep over and this race starts to work its way toward dusk.
Well, you noticed on that graphic right now, the way they were running, Denny Hamlin would take over the points lead. It shows how sensitive each position really is. Hamlin running 6th, Johnson running just 4 positions back, and it's enough to swing the points. Working lap number 120 of 334. A long way to go in this one. Move Greg Biffle into the number 3 spot as he's gotten around Clint Boyer. And right behind Boyer coming up is Joey Logano. So Biffle getting back on that track like we've seen him all race long.
Yeah, that little deal he had on pit road where he had to wait on the 82, that cost him a good bit of time to the leader, Mark Martin. So just all of these little things add up, and you know, you can have a fast race car on the track, but you have to put it all together.
One key thing that they did though on pit road is they made a change on their stop. They took a shim out of that right front bump stop, or left front, I think.
Time for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. You can see the 24 teams currently in the lead. You help determine the standings. You vote from your AT&T phone by texting the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think is the fastest and most valuable. Every Sunday, catch the BCS Countdown Show for the exclusive unveiling of the new BCS rankings and find out who's in the driver's seat and who's poised to be this year's BCS Buster. The BCS Countdown Show presented by Discover. Sundays 8:15 on ESPN and it continues at 9 Eastern on ESPNU.
Yes, if they get TCU down here in our area, boy, they pounded Utah yesterday.
They sure did. How about that comeback by Penn State down 21-0. Win number 400 for Joe Paterno. Right now, Mark Martin's trying to collect a win. How about the fact that he's had 10 wins and 80 top 10s and 164 races on the mile-and-a-half ovals. Let's work our way back a little bit further. Denny Hamlin's running in 5th right now. And then you've got Kevin Harvick and Jimmie Johnson just going after each other. That is for the 8th position on the racetrack.
Yeah, Jimmie Johnson ran him down pretty good, but Harvick not letting him go.
Now that momentum that Harvick's getting off of the corner, running that high line, is making it difficult for Jimmie Johnson.
Let's go back 2 pit strategies ago because you wanted to make a point. Richard Childress got on the team pretty hard for that 4-tire stop.
Yeah, he kind of got on Gill for making that 4-tire stop under that last caution flag stop. And Gill said it's time for a long green flag run. Well, we've had that since then, and look at this 29. He's all the way back up in the top 10. Not a bad decision by Gil Martin.
I don't know if he knows anything about lottery numbers or anything.
And there is Richard on top of the box. Of course, the guy who started all of this early pit stop strategy under this green flag stretch is our current race leader, Mark Martin. He's got a 2.5 lead over David Rudiman. Doc?
Marty, you're right. In NASCAR, as you might expect, it's all about following the leader. Now, most of these guys in that previous stop could run 4 to 6 more laps down to about lap 110. But Mark Martin, as the leader on lap 103, said, guys, I suddenly have a vibration. I'm coming this time. So he came in on lap 104 and pitted, and then it was monkey see, monkey do, feeding time. They all came in behind him on the pit road about 4 or 5 laps early.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot this year, Doc, with a lot of, somebody makes that early pit stop and everybody comes down because there's so much speed to be gained by the tires and there's not much really risk because if the caution does come out, they can take a wave around. There's a lot of ways to get a lap back, so they don't.
So Mark Martin's 1.6-second lead just evaporates. Let's go back and show you exactly what happened to Truex.
And this started way back up in the middle. You can see him get really loose.
Hit the
little
wall
contact with the wall there. And down through the grass. No problems in the grass other than you have to be careful not to mess up the splitter in that.
Okay, for our race leaders, we've only gone about 28 green flag laps. You coming?
Oh, yeah, they're going to be coming down pit road. This is actually the longest green flag run we've had, close to 70 laps or so.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to do 4 tires here, too, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I think so. This will be a 4-tire decision.
Guys on the wall, ready to go. Greg Biffle's crew, the 48 team, trying to rebound from the rough stop they had.
We saw Biffle's team, take that time under green to make a change on their car, so this can actually help them not having to adjust on the car and make a quick pit stop and gain track position back.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin being in front of Jimmie Johnson is going to help his pit stop here too, Jamie.
And David Rudiman worked his way into 2nd, but he was just saying he has no rear grip at all. They're going to go down on the track bar, 4 tires, make a slight air pressure adjustment for the 0-0, Dave.
Denny Hamlin gives up 5th place to pit. They will make a 4-tire stop. Spring rubber in the, air pressure in the right rear, down on the track bar. 3rd place, Greg Biffle in as well. They will make a track bar adjustment for Greg. Better, but still free. 4 tires for Biffle. Doc?
Bottom of your screen, Mark Martin, first adjustment of the day on the 5 car. 1 round off on the track bar. Mark said we're in tick tight. 4 tires to top it off with Sunoco fuel. Mark out of the way, and the race off, he will not win it.
Joey Logano picks up 3 spots. Biffle picks up 1. Martin drops 2 along with Rudiman.
Like Harvick gained a couple also to that 4-tire stop.
Yeah, Jimmie Johnson picks up 1, but he'll be behind his 2 challengers in the chase. So things continue to stay interesting here at Texas Motor Speedway, and we'll reset it and go green when we come back.
Hi, I'm Tony Stewart, driver number 14 off of Steve Old Spice Chevrolet, and just want to say thank you to all the veterans for everything that you've done to make sure that we have a great country to live in that's safe and comfortable. So thank you.
And you can join ESPN in support of our troops, our wounded warriors and their families. Donate $10 by texting USO to 27722 or go to USO.org. And a lot of troops here today with Fort Hood nearby, and we echo Tony's sentiments from start to finish, guys. Glad that you're with us. In fact, you saw the American Red Cross banner. Of course, they're active in a lot of things. They're on the 16 this weekend with Greg Biffle. Biffle right now will restart second in this thing. We had 2 waiver rounds. Andy Lally and Patrick Carpentier, and the 7 of Robbie Gordon got the lucky dog. So up front will be Logano, Biffle, Martin Ruderman, and Denny Hamlin, with Kevin Harvick running 6th. Jimmie Johnson back in 8th. Pace car pulls off. Green flag flies. We're racing again. Logano becomes our 10th different leader. Gets a good restart, but we know what is about to happen.
It's been tough on that high side on these restarts.
And Biffle has been the toughest. There's Hamlin on the high side as well. Coming to the stripe, Logano's giving him all he can handle. Who's going to lead the lap? Logano gets credit for it. A total of 16 lead changes among those 10 different leaders. Still going side by side. Logano doesn't want to give up. Of course, one of those drivers, the 40 we talked about, hungry for a win.
Yeah, and he's been very solid here all weekend. Had a good practice session yesterday. Liked their car. Not sure he's got enough for Greg Biffle, as does anybody else right at this moment, but Joey Logano doing a nice job.
Well, the one time Biffle seemed to be vulnerable was in the long run, when we had that stretch right before we went green flag pit stops.
Well, that was after a 2-tire change under the caution previous, so it's kind of hard to judge how your long run is when you don't have, you know, the same tires as everybody during the run. This is probably going to be like a reset. We can see how he does on this run, and also he made a chassis adjustment under that green flag stop.
You see the freight train coming on down the line. We can tell you Denny Hamlin's now running back in 5th. Kevin Harvick is 8th. Jimmie Johnson is 9th. In 11th position, how about a tip of the hat to the 39 crew of Ryan Newman. Remember, they were a lap down at one point, and now he has just moved into the 10th position. So Newman, and just a few more spots. Same story for the 31 of Jeff Burton. Burton right now in the 13th position. So 2 cars that were 1 lap down early, back on the lead lap, and there you see Jeff closing in on Gordon and Paul Menard.
Jeff Burton had a solid car earlier on, and then he made a 4-tire change and had a problem, but looks like he's able to move this back around. That's the good thing about having some problems early. It gives you plenty of time to regroup and get things going in the right direction.
Same thing for Kurt Busch. You know, he hit the wall coming off 4. Looked like he was going to be done for a while. Almost went a lap down, but now he's back up in the mix a little bit on the lead lap in 19th.
Yeah, at one point he was as low as 36 for Kurt Busch. David Reagan, another guy, he had the penalty earlier there. There you see him working his way back forward. He's up into the 15th spot, side by side there.
You see Ambrose wheeling that thing.
Jamie McMurray had slight contact with the wall earlier in the race, right behind those 2. And Scott Speed as well. Let's get an update on Marcus Ambrose, Dave.
Well, Marty, he's had a pretty good day, and most of the time it's been passing cars on the racetrack. Just a little rear grip is what he's been complaining about. And in fact, during that green flag pit stop cycle, they even had an issue where an official was looking at one line they thought was the line they were supposed to stop on, thought Marcus overshot his pit, made him move back. So he lost time. It was a mistake on the official's part. But Marcus, even with that, has raced inside the top 15 for most of the second third of this race.
All right, Dave, and as we come back forward, there's Jimmie Johnson on side by side with Kevin Harvick. And the points are oh so important right now. Harvick does not want to give up the spot, but he has to. So Jimmie Jimmie into the 8th position. He's going to stay up on that high line, try and get on top of Clint Boyer.
Yeah, I've been watching Jimmie really move around on the racetrack quite a bit, just trying to find out where his car is the fastest right now. As you see him pick up another spot by Clint Boyer.
Next victim is Kyle Busch. Kyle might be a little bit stronger now that he's got that plastic off of the nose of his car when he dropped several positions right before we were able to get in and get it removed. You know, it's actually an anniversary for Kyle. Dave Rogers made his first start as Kyle's Cup crew chief at this race last year. He led 232 laps, if you remember, and unfortunately ran out of fuel with 3 to go while he was leading. Check in on Denny Hamlin with David Rudiman. The 11 is running 5th right now, Dave.
And I don't think he's going to pass David Rudiman. Instead, he's going to run right up close behind him. Listen why.
Number 240. This far we can't afford to get any hotter than that. If it looks like it's going to be, let Kyle go and get right behind him.
Some trash on the grill. Toyota corporate teammate David Rudiman is trying to back off just a little bit so Denny can get right up behind him, create a vacuum, and pull that trash off the grill.
Yeah, I saw Denny get right up next to Rudiman coming down the backstretch. Actually bumped him getting into 3. I thought maybe it was going to upset Rudiman, but it didn't. I was trying to figure out what was going on there. I guess that's what it was.
And looking at,
he may have gotten it off.
Yeah, it looks like it's gone. I mean, I don't see anything. Let's head on over to the Craftsman Tech Garage, Tim.
Hey, there's 2 parts to that, guys. When this debris gets on the front of the car, pulling up behind the car, that really helps. But another thing, when a driver cuts off the fan, where's that piece of paper go?
Well,
it's going to go straight to the ground. Takes a little while, man. You know, it's kind of slow like those crew chiefs.
I thought for a second the demonstration was going south.
I got a high-powered fan on this engine.
Good job, Tim.
Yeah, that's what they do. They turn the fan off and try to pull right up behind somebody to just do away with that pressure on the nose. And a lot of times, I mean, most times it'll fall off of there.
Well, you can see Jimmie Johnson is closing in on Denny Hamlin. Looks like he's trying to get down low to shut that lane down.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've seen Jimmie Johnson's car on this run. He's been able to go to the bottom side and make a pass, or go to the high side and carry a lot of speed off the corner. About as well balanced as you would want a car right now, I would say.
From on board Denny's car.
Looks like he has real good success passing cars on the outside, but he makes good time when he's in the clear when he can run the bottom.
Still side by side as they come out of 2. Remember, it drops off so much there, and finally Jimmie does take the spot. So Johnson moves into 5th. Hamlin now running 6th. Harvick is back in 9th, and everybody's chasing Greg Biffle again as Biffle has led 106 laps. Let's take a look at the telemetry.
You'll be able to see.
Caution, oh, Martin Truex.
Yeah, he hit the wall earlier. He's been running right at the tail end of the pack.
Can I come this time, or we got tires gonna come apart? Come on, so you go tell her to fend up.
There you can see the damage.
Stay on the lead lap.
I'm not sure that's going to survive if he tries to stay out there.
Now he'll need to get in and get that changed. I know he's got the field kind of bearing down on him. He's not able to run fast enough to get around and not race a lap.
Well, let's work on it.
All right, let's go back and show you exactly what happened to Truex.
Yeah, tire just let go. It's a good thing he was really close to the wall there, so he didn't get a ton of damage.
So Martin becomes our 5th caution of the day here. We've run 17 laps under caution so far of the 151 we've completed, and the crew goes to work.
That was the 4th and 5th caution, I believe. He brought the last caution out when he spun off 4.
Chad Knaus on top of the box. Right now he has his driver running in 5th with Denny Hamlin 6th and Kevin Harvick running in 9th. Let's go back. You heard Andy talk about the previous incident back on lap 31.
He's got all that damage on the right front. They came in and fixed it as well as they could, but they were out there running kind of at the tail end of the pack, and that tire let go on this caution here.
So now we've run about 18 laps this time on this green flag stretch.
Yeah, this is one of those stops where you might see some 2 tires.
I'd say we're going to see a lot, and it's going to be a very crowded pit road once again, as we still have a lot of cars. 34 still on the lead lap.
Big break is going to be for Matt Kenseth. He's in 35th right now, 1 lap down. He's going to get the lucky dog. Remember, he pitted on lap 79. He went that lap down while running 8th. He had that vibration problem, and so now he'll be back on the lead lap. Here come the race leaders. Let's send it to Vince. He's got the 48.
Well, Jimmie Johnson may have grazed the wall. He indicated that he wanted the guys to take a look at that right rear. They're going to make a 2-tire change here. Otherwise, he's very happy. Dave?
Hamlin stops right in front of him. Let's see how close things were there. They're able to get around 2 tires. 2 tires for Biffle as well.
And the race off, Joey Logano looks like he's going to do it again as he picks up a spot. Biffle loses 1. Kevin Harvick's team picks up 4.
Yeah, disaster for Jimmie Johnson. They changing right sides, had a terrible right front stop.
It's the second time we've seen that happen today for that team, so we'll reset it for you. You can see Jimmie inside the cockpit here at Texas. He's got his work cut out. Still under caution here at Texas. Let's revisit the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. The fastest pit crew is determined by the winner of each race. Pit time and your vote. Be sure to text the car number to 2258 for your pit crew choice. All right, the 48 has had troubles more than once today in the pits. And let's go back and sort of take a look at this.
This is one of the first stops. You see it, the tire got hit by Paul Menard, which slowed him up a little bit.
No penalty.
No penalty on the 48 because of the contact from the 98. But then this is another stop, 2-tire stop on the right side. See here the carrier, the tire, it's a 2-man team that's working on that right front. And the tire carrier really struggled getting that thing up on the hub. And then this last one, you see here, they come in to have the same issue on the right front. And it's really up to this tire carrier to spline that thing properly and not knock the lug nuts off. And that's, he kind of left the tire changer there to put those nuts back on by himself, and that's what cost him so much time.
And let's show you what it means on the pit time comparison.
Yeah, you see that 10.2 for 2 tires, almost twice as long as Denny Hamlin's.
And cost him 7 positions. He's going to restart in 12th. Let's listen on the radio.
I know. Guys, I need you in there so bad. 10-4, we know, man. We know. We'll get it lined up here. You're doing a great job on the racetrack, Jimmy. You got a really good race car. Got to keep our cool here and get her back up into the top 10, and then we'll get after those guys again.
Now, we know a lot of drivers that after 2 of episodes, they'd be up on the tire.
Yeah, but that just shows how professional Jimmie Johnson is and the champion that he is. He understands that, you know, they're trying as hard as they can, but it's really putting him in some bad spots. He doesn't want to have to get too aggressive at this point in time and keep passing same cars over and over.
Well, the 18 right behind Jimmie Johnson, he lost 7 spots also, so he'll have to dig his way out of that hole.
All right, we told you Matt Kenseth was the lucky dog, and David Gilliland stayed out and got the wave around, so we now have 36 cars on the lead lap. Montoya and Truex are shown 1 lap down. Up front, it's going to be Joey Logano. First time he's ever led here at Texas. Second time he's going to lead today. Biffle alongside, then Mark Martin, David Ruderman, Kevin Harvick 5th, Denny Hamlin 6th, Boyer, Burton, Menard, Stewart, Edwards, and Jimmie Johnson back in 12th. Green flag flies. We're underway. Into 3, just like we saw on the last time these two went side by side. Logano's able to hold on at least for a lap or 2. Biffle's car has been so good on the early runs. Right behind him is Mark Martin with a bird's eye view.
Logano hanging really tough on that inside. I don't know if he can do it again through turns 3 and 4 here. This is where Biffle took the lead the last time. Looks like he may again. Joey will settle in. Now he's got a nice run on the bottom again.
Still side by side. Logano giving credit for leading that lap. Biffle's led the most today. 109. We've had 11 different leaders and 19 lead chases. Whoa, and into turn 1. It's what Kyle Busch is involved. David Reagan may have a piece of that as well. So the man who almost won this race last year has trouble here on lap number 159. Andy Lowley in the 71 there. He was running 15th.
The left rear that's banging around right now. I'm trying not to tear the quarter panel off it. You might have to do left first.
Yeah, that's the one problem with having a bad pit stop. It puts you back in the field, and these kind of things can happen. It can compound itself.
Here we go.
Looks like he may have got tapped. I can't tell who that was.
Like the 6 of David Reagan. I'm not sure if he got tapped or if Kyle just got loose getting down into the corner.
I just wondered if it was the 9 of Eric Almirola.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might have been the 9 that tapped him.
Oh, yeah, I'd say.
That's what it looks like when
There's
you get
no
tapped.
doubt that he got hit right there. Yes, that's exactly what you have.
Kept it off the wall.
Hold your brake.
That's
hold
unreal.
your brake.
He saved that car like that.
He has made it to pit road.
Gonna have to hustle.
Looks like the other leaders are staying out. Pit road is open as they go by.
Yeah, we've only gone 7 laps since our last round of pit stops, and the 9 is coming in. Eric Almirola, followed by Kurt Busch and several others that were further back in the field.
Looks like Kyle might get back out. He might stay on the lead lap here. Looks like it was close.
And he's out in front of the pace car, so it looks like Kyle will stay on the lead lap.
So now he can come back around and change the other side. He changed the left sides because had that left rear that was flapping.
And you heard him on the radio helping the crew chief, saying, hey, you're going to have to do the left sides first. Let's show you how close it really was for him staying on the lead lap. There is the pit outline, and look at the pace car. Now that blue line in the background, if the pace car is past that, he's drilled. Oh, and we just got word from NASCAR.
Back, Dave.
The 18
hold you 1 lap. They
too fast.
They said we sped to keep from going a lap down.
You heard it there. They're going to hold him 1 lap.
Yeah, they actually changed right sides first. Now they're changing the left. Well, I mean, he was going to be a lap down either way. Well, I guess that's a little hand signal he's giving the NASCAR official.
Yeah, we will apologize for Kyle.
Can't shoot the messenger. You know, he was just trying to stay on the lead lap, and that's a chance you take. If you make it, great. If you don't, all he's losing is what he would have lost if he had not made it.
All right, so while they hold him a lap, let's check in on our in-race reporter, Greg Biffle, who is our race leader.
Hey, Greg, Dale Jarrett, can I have a copy?
Hey, DJ.
Hey, man, we heard you talking in the countdown show. You weren't sure about the adjustments you made. They look like they're pretty good for that 16 car.
Yeah, they are. As the speed's picking up here, the sun's going down, cooling off. I'm just getting looser and looser, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. Going to start taking a few bigger swings out of here, but business picking up too. You know, these 20s up here now, and a few others look like they're getting fast, 00.
All right, man, keep it up. Thanks for talking.
Greg Biffle led 219 laps when he won here back in April of 2005. He started in the rear in that race in a backup car, and he didn't lead for the first time until lap 87. And right now he's led 113 laps today, more than anybody else by a bunch. This week on ESPN's Monday Night Football, Big Ben and the Pittsburgh Steelers head to Cincinnati, where they face T.O. and the Bengals. They're hungry for a win over the division leaders. Steelers, Bengals, ESPN's Monday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown, served up by Applebee's. So we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing as the sun casting more shadows more and more over this track. It will be Greg Biffle and Joey Logano with Mark Martin, David Rudiman, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin 5th and 6th. Boyer is 7th. And Jimmie Johnson will restart in 14th. Fort Lucky Dog was Juan Pablo Montoya. He is back on the tail end of the lead lap. This time, no contest as Biffle quickly gets out front, past Joey Logano. David Rudiman, who already
said unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's the radio.
That's freedom of speech. They're going.
That's Kyle Busch's radio. Remember the little gesture that we had to apologize for? It's going to cost him 2 more laps. NASCAR is going to pull him in.
You're too hard for this. You're costing us. Road, park it for 2 laps.
And while all that goes on, the race continues out on the track. A lot of traffic back through the middle of this field. There is Kyle. We'll see if he comes in this time.
We can load it on the lift gate.
He is slowing down and making his way down pit road. So a bad break turned into a bad situation, and it's gone to worse. Battle for 5th over on the right side.
I'm the only one that'll stand up to him, but they'll show me how far to stand up.
How about Harvick, Hamlin, Boyer, all in line right there. While he sits, let's go back to this.
Yeah, they've got the situation they want. They've got the 48 in their mirror, and that's exactly what they want. Be able to gain points on Jimmie Johnson.
For a moment there, it was 3 wide, and one of those cars was the first time we've been able to talk about young Trevor Bayne.
He's 3 wide again. Take him out. Yeah, I've really watched him a lot today. We haven't had him on screen that much, but he's done an excellent job driving this Wood Brothers machine.
He's up to 16th right now, trying to go around Paul Menard, and looks like he's going to do it and take over the 15th spot. That's the highest he's been today. He's got Ambrose underneath, and that's slamming the door on Paul Menard. So a great run for the Wood Brothers. Let's get an update. How's his day really been going, Jamie?
It's been going pretty well. He's impressing a lot of people around him. Of course, his first ever start. They had to start in the back of the field today because of a transmission change, but he's hanging on. But remember, he's had a lot of testing experiences in these new cars with DEI and then Michael Waltrip Racing, and then he tested last week with Roush. So he's holding his own, guys. Definitely not driving like it's his first time.
Not bad for a 19-year-old. How about it? Good job. Back to the race up front. There's Greg Biffle. He's got Joey Logano now 0.4 of a second behind. And as we move back, you see Harvick and Hamlin still running 5th and 6th. You're saying, where's Jimmie Johnson? All the way back in 12th. You want to talk about a point swing? The top 3 would be within 24 if it stayed this way. And Denny Hamlin would be the points leader.
Here's the ironic thing I see about those 3 cars today. Jimmie Johnson looks like he's got the best car all day. And I think Harvick probably has the worst of the 3, but here we got him almost in reverse. Harvick is in front of all of his competitors and doing a really good job on and off the pit road, and Kevin's doing a great job searching around the racetrack and making passes.
Well, and the key is we're still just halfway by 2 laps. So there's still a lot of racing to go. A lot more adjustments are going to have to be made as you continue to see the shadows creep further and further across this 1.5 miles known as Texas Motor Speedway. And we'll be back with a lot more of our coverage. It's presented by GoDaddy.com.
Chevrolet wants you and 3 of your friends to meet Kevin Harvick and Miss Sprint Cup at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Awards ceremony in Las Vegas. And you could win 2 all-new Chevrolet Cruze LTZs to go along with your trip. For your chance to win, enter at winyourchevy.com. Riding on board with Dale Jr., not having his best day right now, back in 32nd position, though on the lead lap. As you see that sun glare and then into the shadows, and we roll along now into the second half of today's 500-mile NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at Texas Motor Speedway. So far, been kind of a standoff among the championship trio. 2 of them have led. Jimmie Johnson and Denny Hamlin have each led a lap. Kevin Harvick has not. But right now, Johnson is trailing the other 2 because of troubles he's had on pit road on just about every stop today.
Oh, yeah, Jimmie Johnson keeps having these pit road problems. There's just no doubt about that. But talk about the points championship. See Joey Logano getting underneath the 16 of Greg Biffle right now. Boy, as the sun is setting, that 20 car has got better and better. But going back to the points, this championship's within 24 points now. It's tighter than it's ever been.
Joey Logano has not had great results here at this Texas track in the past, but he came into this weekend feeling they ran better here in April and feels like that a good run here would be a check off his list.
It really would. It would bring him back into the picture as far as he's concerned this year of having a pretty good season. I mean, he really has not been as strong as he would like to have been throughout the year, consistent as he would like to have been. And this will give he and Greg Zipadelli a big shot in the arm.
That's Greg Biffle's radio there, and there's that 00 car. Rusty and Brad have both been watching David Ruderman.
David Ruderman's he has been flying for the last 100 laps. I mean, he's consistently been one of the quicker cars on the racetrack, and he has stayed up in that top 5, top 3 basically all day long, Rusty. He's a threat.
He is a threat. And I look at what he did back in the Chicago race when he dominated that second half and won that race in Chicago. This is no fluke what's going on here. This guy is fast. Right now he's about 0.2 of a second faster than a leader that last lap by. Right now it's kind of neutralized. But this is a very, very good handling car for David Ruderman today.
He's coming.
Now, beautiful afternoon here in Fort Worth, but this race is going to finish just past sundown and under the lights here. You see now about a half or so of the track is in the shadows behind the grandstands and the condos in the Speedway Club down in Turn 1. The other half is in sunshine. You see the temperature difference there. You heard Greg Biffle complaining about his car. Chasing these track conditions, a huge thing for the crew chief all the rest of this race.
Yeah, it really is. They have to stay up with the track conditions. That's what we call it here in NASCAR. If it changes, something's going to happen. The car's going to get tighter or if it's going to get looser. It all depends how you got your car set up. Generally, when the track cools off, the car starts losing the front end. But I just heard Greg Biffle say, I'm getting looser and looser. So it changes for different cars. But no matter what, they got to keep adjusting on the car for the temperature.
And every trip to pit road, a crucial call has got to be made. And again, you got to be anticipating what it's going to be like when the sun is down and the lights are on and this race finishes in its final miles. 180 laps complete, 154 to go. Joey Logano now back out in front. He is one of 11 different drivers who've led today here in Texas.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Texas is presented by GoDaddy.com and brought to you in part by the new 2011 Ford F-150, built Ford tough, Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania. See farther, see wider, see better. And AT&T.
Back here at the Great American Speedway, we have got some very interesting developments happening as the sun continues to cast the shadows over this 1.5-mile track. Joey Logano's car has come to life, and he has now got a 0.6 of a second lead over Greg Biffle, who now finds himself not as good as he was when the sun was fully out. David Ruderman, very consistent all day long, right there in third. And if you drift back just a little bit further, Kevin Harvick has moved up to the 4th position, picking up 2 spots while we were in break.
Yeah, these track conditions have really flip-flopped that thing. You know, Harvick did not have a great car in the beginning of the race, and now he's got the best of the 3. Jimmie Johnson, on the other hand, has some problems, but he's not making any headway. He's not really passing any cars trying to come to the front, so his car's not as good as it was.
Denny Hamlin is 2 spots further back in 6th, and where is Jimmie Johnson? He is stuck in the 13th position, and he's actually losing distance to the leader. He's now 12 seconds behind.
Yeah, and what I think the track conditions, plus we've seen their car be the best when they change 4 tires, so they're looking for more opportunities where you run a little bit longer green and everybody gets 4.
All right, this is why this is so important. Look at what happens if this doesn't change. Denny Hamlin leads, and it's a 19-point difference between the 3 of them.
Yeah, we still got some racing to go, though.
Quite a bit, but it just shows the ebb and flow and how quickly this lead between these 3 can change here at Texas. Well, there's Chad Knaus down talking to his crew. And what do you say to him, Chief?
Well, this is one thing I was never good at. The one thing you can't do is take your frustration out right here. You got to get through this race. They've had some problems. You got a car in the wall right now, though. You're going to have a chance maybe to make another pit. So it looks like it's a 56 car Truex again.
Yeah, up in turn number 4 as we got the caution out. And yeah, it's been a very bad day for Martin Truex and the Napa crew. And you can see just how bad.
Yeah, they might have killed it that time.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad this time as he's going to head for the garage. So our 7th caution. Oh, no, and Jeff Gordon. Where in the world?
Bring it to me.
He's over at the exit of turn 2, and Jeff Burton involved. This had to happen at the opposite end of the racetrack.
God, we just raced on the back stretch. 24 cut up in front of me and caught my right front fender, my left front.
Man, that's devastating for these 2. Dadgum, look at these cars are destroyed.
So Jeff Gordon, who hasn't won, his last race that he won was here. It's been 62 races since his last victory, and it isn't going to happen today. All right, here's the first part with Martin Truex, and all our eyes are down to the left.
Yeah, he kind of pounded that wall. We knew the caution was going to come out.
And it's really hard to tell if he blew another tire or if he just got loose and jumped up into the wall.
Now, while we're looking left, over on the right side of the track, here's what happened with Gordon and Burton.
Well, I don't know about that.
Wow. Hard contact for the 24.
To me, like Burton did that on purpose.
No, it looked like the 24 slid up in front maybe and then jumped out of the gas as the caution came out.
That's a pretty good lick, too. I don't know if maybe they made a little contact earlier.
Well, Jeff is out of the car and appears to be okay.
Like I said, that could have been that caution came out right at that time as he was making that pass. And Jeff doesn't look very happy right here.
Now, they were running 18th and 19th at the time of this crash. So we have a multiple incident at both ends of the speedway for our 7th caution here at Texas. And Jeff making his way.
Well, just there was an ambulance at Jeff's car. He's walking over to
They're
Jeff
all
Burton.
mad at us because the way we raced him in 3 and 4, and he pulled up beside us and just tried to fake like he was going to turn into us coming off turn 2, and that's what caused all that crap back there.
Before it's over and done with now, we'll just get her fixed and roll on.
Yeah, it's not Jeff Gordon's not happy at all.
And they're going to go and talk it out here. Oh, and this is. Oh, we got a fight breaking out.
Yeah, Jeff's not happy. Jeff Gordon not happy with what happened there. A
Officials stepping in between, but this is far from over. I mean, there weren't even words exchanged. This was in your face.
I saw that coming because there was an ambulance behind Jeff Gordon's car for him to get in. He walked over there to the other one that they had for Jeff Burton.
They're fighting. Okay.
Well, both of them now will make the mandatory ride to the infield care center. I don't know if I'd put them in the same ambulance. But this could be fun for the officials.
I don't know if that was a good idea or not.
You made mention there was another. So
yeah, you see the ambulance.
There's the other ambulance on the upper right.
There's another one right there.
All right, let's go back and take a look at this again.
You can see right here, Jeff Gordon, well, he'd gone up in front.
I'm telling you, that's a hard lick Jeff Gordon took, too.
It looked like the caution was already out.
Just not sure if something didn't happen a little earlier that kind of provoked Jeff Burton.
Yeah, you'd have to think that this started before that.
And I've never seen this out of Jeff Gordon. Man, there was no talk.
That's about two of the most unlikely guys you would expect to see in this situation.
And I'm sorry, folks, I'm not good at reading lips, so I can't tell you what they're saying.
You couldn't repeat what was said there, part of it.
You can kind of imagine what they're saying. I mean, I really don't blame Jeff Gordon. I mean, he got hammered in the wall right there, and I don't really know why.
Here's what's left of the 31, and the 24 doesn't look any better.
There are no winners in that one.
Well, pit road has now opened. Joey Logano leads him down. And let's send it to Jamie Little.
Well, bad news for the competition. The 29 car is good on the short run, good on the long run. No changes is the call. 4 tires stop for Kevin Harvick, Dave.
11 crew has stopped watching the shoving match to focus on 4 tires for Denny Hamlin and a wedge adjustment for a loose race car. Doc.
Bottom of your screen, race leader Joey Logano, 4 tires, and it's getting a little bit loose now, so they're going to make a wedge adjustment and 0.2 of an air pressure change. Vince.
Jimmie Johnson says he just doesn't know why the car is so loose. They went down a round and a half on the track bar, and they were clean on the tire changes this time. 4 good years for Jimmie Johnson.
And the race off pit road, as you can see, the only person to pick up 2 and crack the top 10, Marcus Ambrose. Jimmie Johnson will sort it out, let you know where he is when we come back. As we're here at Texas, and the fireworks are still happening.
Well, things have taken a bit of a twist here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Under caution for the 7th time of the race. Our coverage today brought to you by GoDaddy.com. The mangled car of Jeff Gordon being carried back to the garage. A mangled car from Jeff Burton being carried back as well after an interesting turn of events that will be part of our Dodge race rundown. Let's start first with a lot of what's been going on around the championship trio. A lot of it's been on pit road.
Yeah, big time right front problems for Jimmie Johnson's pit crew. They keep having problems here on this right front corner. The first time they hit a tire, second time they've had a right front issue here. The issue is I'm talking about, can't seem to get a clock right, keep having slow stops.
Yeah, he couldn't get the right front tire changer. Doesn't seem to be able. His tire carrier seems to be somewhat of the problem there. Can't quite get the studs lined up, get the tire on, and left him hanging here. It looks like as well. Right front tire carrier is trying to pick up the lugs and get them on there. So very, very slow. It's been detrimental to him all day long.
Costed Jimmy track position. Denny Hamlin had trouble on an early 2-tire stop when he got blocked in behind Scott's speed. Since then, Hamlin's pit crew's been on the money. He wasn't happy about that first stop. And Denny's been moving up in the race, moving up. He's been in the top 5. He's even led a lap during the race today. Kevin Harvick's the guy that's made a nice charge as well. He started in 26th position, worked his way into the back part of the top 10, then he worked his way up into the top 5. Nice job by the 29.
Happy Harvick is right on his money right now. He's not making any mistakes. He's got a fast car. He's adjusting for the temperature of the track. Right now he's shown in the 5th position above all of his other Chase competitors.
And then the really big moment of the race.
Here we go.
After the caution came out for Martin Truex being involved in a crash. This happened on the cool down.
Ooh, Jeff Burton just used up Jeff Gordon there for whatever the incident was before that. And Mr. Gordon's not too happy. He goes down and he's going to try to cauliflower Jeff Burton's ears here for him. Luckily, we had 2 officials down there, and these boys are not happy. Woo! Get it on!
It will be interesting to hear both sides of this. Expect we'll hear from Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton momentarily as they both come out of the care center.
Oh, Jeff got a little feisty there. I've never seen him like that.
Gordon? Well, he was going to whoop you one night like that.
The only time I've ever seen him is when I spun him out in Richmond. He had it coming, though.
Yeah, he did have it coming.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see what happens here and who says what.
Have at it, boys.
Looks like Gordon is going to go elsewhere for a moment, and Jeff Burton's going to step into the scrum, Jamie.
Well, both drivers have been released. Jeff Gordon going back to his hauler. We'll catch up with him in a moment. But, Jeff, what happened? We just saw the replays of you two.
Well, we came off turn 4, and it's really hard to see off turn 4, and he drove underneath me. And when he drove underneath me, I should have let him go, and I didn't. The caution came out, and he pulled up next to me to tell me that he was upset at me. And then he went on, then I went to pull up next to him to acknowledge him, to say he was right. And I turned left, and he was turning left, and we just hung up. And when we hung up, off we went. And it was I honestly don't know what happened. It was my fault. 100% it was my fault. It's like once we got together, I couldn't get it off of him. I didn't mean to hit him. I made to pull up to him and tell him he was right, because he was upset at me for what happened off turn 4. And I should have let him go, because you can't see over there right now, and you don't need to be side by side. And I don't blame him for being mad. I'd have been mad too.
What happened afterwards when you saw him walking towards you?
Well, like I said, I knew he was going to be mad, and I don't blame him for being mad. He didn't do anything that he shouldn't have done. He was upset, and he should have been upset. I wrecked him under caution. I didn't mean to wreck him, but I wrecked him under caution. And he meant to tell me he was upset, and that was okay. I don't have a bitter problem with what he did. He was mad, and he should have been mad.
Did you guys have any words in the medical center?
Well, I have a lot of respect for Jeff, and I think he has a lot of respect for me. We talked, and he's still upset. And like I said, I don't blame him. He understands what happened more now, and it is what it is.
All right, thanks, Jeff Burton. Takes total blame there. And Alan, we're going to try to catch up with Jeff Gordon if we can before the end of this race.
All right, Jamie, thank you. So,
well, so he didn't use him up. I thought that explains it. I mean, I guess they just got hooked together.
Well, they need to hustle over and grab a hold of Jeff Gordon. I want to hear from him real quick.
That is as blunt an explanation as you'll hear from Jeff Burton. But I guess what else would you expect from him?
Yeah, I mean, too bad. One of those tough incidents, but it tore up 2 good race cars. But Jeff Burton's taking full responsibility. So I'm sure when Jeff Gordon cools off,
it looks like the bumpers did get hooked together, and Jeff just couldn't get away from him because the 31 car just went straight up.
Yeah, he did. I thought he was using him up.
Now they got locked together, Brad.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Both of those crews have jumped all over both of those wrecked race cars to see if they can repair them and get them back out, because they're fighting for positions in the final standings. And as we've documented before, that these points are important. More going on back in the garage, Doc?
Well, it's actually on pit road. Here's what's happening. The 24 crew of Jeff Gordon is going to go up and now start pitting the 48 car of Jimmie Johnson. They've been told to go to the 48 pit, and here's why. Because the 24 crew's been locking off 11.8, 12 second, 12.1 second stops, and now they've been asked to come to the 48 and provide assistance. So what's happening here is the 24 guys are already up here. They're discussing what's going to go on, and I don't know how well this will go over, but they've been asked to come here and see if they can get the best of the best on pit road.
Wow.
Man, everything's changing.
Very interesting.
It's an amazing race.
All right, Marty, DJ, and Andy, a lot going on.
Whoa. Yeah, what I'm looking at right now is you've just destroyed the morale of everybody in one of those blue and white uniforms. Get ready. We'll talk more about that. And, yeah, the race is getting ready to restart. It's Joey Logano, your race leader. Biffle, Harvick, Ruderman, Hamlin, and Martin. We're green again.
Look at Harvick getting a big run now, pushing Joey Logano in turn 1.
Harvick looking to try for the high side, not willing to go up that high.
Now, this hadn't been the strongest part of Harvick's race car and race so far. As you can see, Biffle fighting on the inside. He's normally like that high side.
Jimmie Johnson restarted in 13th position. That's one of the reasons for the crew change. They have lost positions every time on pit road. Hamlin and Harvick side by side while they're going after each other.
Yeah, I think Harvick would really like to get back to the bottom right now. As this racetrack cools off, you're going to see more drivers on the bottom side, especially with fresh tires.
Hamlin's got the position for now, and you're right. Harvick tucks in behind, gets down on the bottom. All right, we've caught up with Jeff Gordon. Vince?
Well, Jeff Burton told us that it was definitely his fault. He owned up to that. But what was your perspective of what happened there and the reason you were so angry, obviously?
I'll walk you right through it. You know, we went down into 3. He went wide. Going into 3, I got to the inside of him. I mean, there was 4 car widths between us, and he drove from the wall all the way down to me, almost in the second groove up. And I didn't understand why, and so we got down. The caution came out. We went down in turn 1, and I just went up and drove up next to him. I didn't even touch him. And I don't know, I guess he was just really frustrated with the way his car was handling or something. And I mean, he just drove into my right rear and put me in the wall under caution. Of all the people out there, I never thought that would happen with Jeff Burton. I mean, I've always had a tremendous amount of respect from him, but I certainly lost a lot of respect today. And I don't think we're going to be able to fix the DuPont Chevrolet. I mean, we were battling it enough as it was, but I really had confidence we were going to be able to battle back and and get a decent finish, maybe top 10 or 15, but certainly not going to happen today.
After scuffling outside and then the two of you get in the ambulance together, what was said there?
Well, I was walking towards him, and I started going through all the scenarios in my mind. Thankfully, I had a long walk down there to him because I thought I did about the least amount that I wanted to do. I wanted to show him how upset I was, but I wanted to do a whole lot more than that. And I held back, and, I just still in disbelief. And, I didn't want to be in the ambulance with him, I can tell you that, but we got in there, and, I like Jeff. I mean, he's a guy that's, usually very rational, and I respect his opinion, and, he apologized, said it was his fault. He said he didn't mean to do it, and whatever, it's over.
Thanks, Jeff. Marty?
Jeff finished 31st here back in April. He crashed after leading 124 laps. While you were talking, Vince, Jimmie Johnson lost 2 more spots. He's now down to 15th. Greg Biffle's doing what Biffle's done pretty much all day long. He's opened up a now 1.1 second lead over Joey Logano. Denny Hamlin is behind Ruderman in 4th. Harvick rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, as I watch Jimmie Johnson, I know that he's complaining of a loose condition, and I don't think that they've really fixed that. As you can see, the points changing right now, and Jimmie Johnson's going to have some more work to do on this 48 car.
The ebb and flow of this race. I want to get back to that crew and quickly. I mean, the morale of the 48 team right now.
Yeah, this is a bad timing to have that happen. I know they're frustrated. They've had bad stops, but the timing of really just pulling them out of the game right now cannot have positive effects going forward.
It'd be like benching Peyton Manning and his entire offensive unit, wouldn't it, for the Colts? I mean, you're basically changing everybody, going to the second team. So we'll see what happens. Stay with us. A lot to go here. 127 laps, and it has been, to say the least, an eventful day here at Texas.
Lots to talk about on NASCAR Now later tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. The post-race coverage from here in Texas. And then, of course, on our Monday Roundtable, 5 Eastern ESPN2. That is NASCAR Now on Monday. The NASCAR Nationwide Series moves on to Phoenix next weekend. Our coverage presented by Dodge. It's at 4 Eastern Time next Saturday on ESPN2. And then the chase moves to the Desert Mile for the Cobalt Tools 500 at Phoenix. That's next Sunday, 3 Eastern on ESPN. We start with NASCAR Countdown at 2 Eastern. Here in Texas, a very eventful day with 120 laps to go in this race. Greg Biffle is out in front of Joey Logano by a second and a half. Denny Hamlin runs 4th. Kevin Harvick runs 5th. Jimmie Johnson runs back in 13th position. Talking about just before we went to the break, the call by Hendrick Motorsports to send Jeff Gordon's crew up to the 48 pit to service Jimmie Johnson's car for the rest of this race after the 48 team has struggled on each of their stops today. Andy expressed the opinion that that is a very difficult thing to do, to pull these guys out in the middle of the game. Earlier today on NASCAR Countdown, in the middle of a discussion between Jimmie Johnson and Chad Knaus about how they can, I think what was the word that Chad used? He can be angry and take no prisoners sometimes. Jimmie said, this is a professional sport.
If you look through any professional football team, baseball team, I mean, managers, head coaches, that's the way you have to be. I mean, you have to act that way. I mean, you need your guys to step up and do a job. That's why they're hired.
And so the situation the 48 team finds itself in right now. Rusty and Brad, your reaction to all this?
Well, first of all, both the teams are very, very good. There's no doubt about that. But every now and then, one of the teams will stumble. This is fantastic for the 48 team right now. The 24 car is available. The teammates are. And they're knocking out very, very fast pit stops all day long for Jeff Gordon. And the 48, for whatever reasons, having all their problems. So why not do it? If they're truly a fantastic team meaning team, hey, do it. And so I'm all for this, and I think it's a fantastic move, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, the question is going to be is, can the 48 group bounce back? I mean, are they going to be in shock after they get over this weekend? Because they're going to hear about it for the rest of the week throughout the media and everything else. Will they continue to point it out? Vince, you have a little more on that?
Well, Chad Knaus declined the opportunity to talk to us, but I did speak with Ron Malik, who's the car chief on the 48. He did confirm to me that Jeff Gordon's crew, the 24 team, will hit the 48 when the 48 comes for its next stop. 7 pit stops for the 48 today, and they've lost positions on pit road in 4 of those stops.
They have got time this week to go back and fix the problem. They don't have time today. That's the main reason I agree with this change right here. They'll fix it. It'll be fine.
And Kevin Harvick moving up to try and take a spot away from Denny Hamlin. Dave?
Denny doesn't want to let him do that, Alan. They have told Denny that the 29 has not led a lap today, and he's not going to be able to hold him back right now. But that was just one piece of information that for a while, and he's going to go back after him, kept the 11 trying to hold the 29 back, keep him from those 5 precious bonus points. He's not leading, of course, but if he stays in front of the 29 all day, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, if we get into a cycle of green flag pit stops, it puts the 29 in position to try and equal up those bonus points with the 11. So
this is as good as it gets, man.
it is fantastic. And lap after lap, I'm looking at David Rudiman. He's the fastest car.
Yep.
Fastest car on the track.
We see a little bit of debris on the grill of the 29 car. Jamie, we see a little bit of something down there on the 29?
Yes, you sure do. A piece of paper. He's saying the temperature's up to 245. Guys, what does he do now? Does he back off, let the 11 go, try to get him to help him get rid of that, or stay where he is?
Well, he's going to catch somebody in front of him, Jamie, no doubt about that. Or just what you just said, get behind the 11 car and get that piece of debris off, because he's got to finish this race. He is in a point. He doesn't want to do anything stupid and try to overheat this motor and blow it up.
The main thing he'll do is keep an awfully close eye on that temperature gauge as they run here and see if they get a caution and a chance to
Here
pit.
he comes.
David Rudiman.
David Rudiman's on the march. We've been watching him all day. I'm telling you guys, when they open the pay window up later on about 112 laps, I wouldn't be surprised to see that 00 in victory lane.
Yeah, the temperature seems like it's really helping his 00 car, Rudiman. Like we say, he's getting faster and faster every lap. Last time by, fastest car on the track again.
2nd and 4/10 behind Greg Biffle, who is the race leader. Biffle has led the most laps today, and he's still got a lot of laps to go if he wants to take home the trophy. Biffle is at 111 laps to go. Now over Rudiman, Logano, Harvick, and Hamlin. Johnson runs back in 10th. What's going to happen next today here in Texas?
Somebody's going to get whooped, I'm telling you right now.
Sprint brings you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. The biggest mover of the day has been Denny Hamlin. Right now he is running in the 5th position. He's picked up a total of 23 positions from where he started the race. He actually was listed 30th, but after cars moved to the rear, he started 28th. Explains that for you. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. There is Denny right now. He's got some open air. It's another almost full second back to Mark Martin. There is Kevin Harvick right in front of him. Where's our race leader, Greg Biffle? Well, there is the Biff as he leads another lap. He's now led 158 laps. But it's good news and bad news. The bad news is he's failed to win the last 4 races after leading the most laps. And also, the driver who's led the most laps in the last 5 races here in the chase this season has failed to win. So it's not been the kind of omen that we usually think it would be.
I still take my chances, though, if I can leave a long lap. I like the idea that I've got a pretty good race car.
Move back a little bit further. There is Carl Edwards as he is running right ahead of Ryan Newman. We can tell you that Jimmie Johnson's gotten in front of all these guys now as he's starting to go. And tip of the hat to Ryan Newman. He and Matt Kenseth both a lap down at one point. The 39 car with lap 63 got the wave around. And he manages now to fight his way back into the 10th position.
You see Kyle Busch, he's a couple laps down, actually 3 laps down because of the penalty. He's been driving pretty crazy, though, trying to make up time.
It's been interesting to watch him. We know that he is pretty hot under the collar inside there right now.
Yep, Kyle got busted for speeding, and then when he came back in, he got busted again for letting the NASCAR official, he thought he was number 1. And that didn't fly with NASCAR, and they benched him for 2 more laps. But he has been driving like a man possessed.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate of all the circumstances that took place to get him in that position because he really does have a fast race car.
Yeah, what kind of started, he got tagged in the left rear by, I think it was Eric Almirola, spun, didn't hit anything, and then was trying to get tires changed on the car, not lose a lap, and that's how he actually was speeding on pit road. They held him. And Dave, you might have a little more on this whole situation.
Well, Andy, I just wanted to go down and check on, how the car was doing since he's back on the track and running people down. And they said, it is definitely running very, very well. And that sort of goes back to what crew chief Dave Rogers said over the radio. Hey, don't do anything else. We've all worked so hard for this. You're costing us. If they'd maintained their cool, what could they have done? The race car is still very fast. And at that point, I think they were only 1 lap down.
Yeah, they were. They were in a really pretty good shape. I mean, they looked like they were going to stay on the lead lap, and they didn't. But they could have gotten that one back. But trying to get 3 back is going to be almost impossible.
Move a little bit forward to Jimmie Johnson because he is starting to move back forward. At one point in this run, he was as far back as 15th. He has now gotten up to the 8th spot, and he's closing down on Matt Kenseth. So it seems like the longer this run goes, the better his car is getting.
Yeah, it looks like his car is better. He was really, really loose and couldn't go fast, so he lost a lot of time there. But that's playing to his advantage now as they get a lot of laps on the tires, getting close for pit stops.
And they should be coming up, and we'll keep an eye on what happens with that 48 crew here at Texas. Our race presented by GoDaddy.com. We're in Texas, and it's a good thing these guys didn't have 6 guns, because there might be some bullets flying all over the place. This has been a big, rough day for the 48 team. The crew has been replaced after Jeff Gordon has crashed out. The 24 crew is now going to pit the 48, and we are expecting pit stops any moment here at Texas Motor Speedway. And one car it's already in is Robbie Gordon. There's a lot of smoke there, and looks more like engine than it does tire.
Yeah, I've been smoking for 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, man, we had a good race car today. That's the positive side of it.
They were 22nd when they came in on the lead lap. They were having a good day.
Yes, looks like it's over now, though.
Shut it off. Shut it off.
Yeah.
Leaking right here.
There you go. Mark Hollywood Armstrong giving us a bird's eye view. So the day.
What do you need, Billy?
Not going to end up the way
The line from the bottom of the cooler to the pump.
Kyle Busch has made his stop. Remember, he is 3 laps down. And the 2 of Kurt Busch comes in.
And here's a pass for the lead.
And here comes Rudeman. He is putting pressure on our race leader. Biffle has clinched the most laps led at 171. Rudeman wants a piece of it on the left side of your screen. Doc, take it.
And Kurt Busch, one of the chase drivers, it has been a miserable afternoon for them. They even changed both front shock absorbers under the previous caution flag to try to keep the car from being so tight, and now it has been very loose. Jamie.
David Rudeman driving the same car he won with. The Chicago car has been great. The cooler it gets, the better he runs. 4 tires, air pressure adjustment for the 00.
And what we found out is the guys that pitted early usually came out with the bigger advantage when the cycle completed.
Yeah, that's why I see Greg Biffle now coming off pit road coming off the racetrack on pit road as a leader.
Tony Stewart, we can tell you, is in. Brad Keselowski is in, and you're right. There is Biffle at the top of the screen. Let's go to Dave Burns.
And the 16, they're still working on their pit stop as he comes down pit road, confirming whether or not Greg Biffle would like that spring rubber back in the left rear. I didn't hear the response. May take him a little more time. They'll make a wedge adjustment. Believe the car has gone just a little bit loose for Greg again. So as the 3M pit bulls come around to the left side, they'll finish the stop and send Greg back out. Doc?
Mark Martin does not like a tight race car, so I got to have more turn. The grip level is coming up on the racetrack. The track is tightening up, and they want to free him up a little bit. Air pressure, 4 tires, and finally marks away. Jamie.
And it's what he's been trying to do all day long. He led his first lap, got those 5 bonus points. Now all 3 of your contention guys have led laps. Kevin Harvick, 4 tires, no changes, Vince.
The 48 of Jimmie Johnson. Yes, that's Jeff Gordon's crew pitting him. He says it's still a little free into 3, tight through the center of 3 and 4. They're going to add some cross weight going up around in the right rear. 4 tires for Jimmie Johnson.
And we can tell you Kevin Harvick did lead a lap. He stayed out long enough. There you see him coming out right behind Dale Jr. There is Hamlin and Jimmie Johnson. And we'll see how it all sorts out as here comes Matt Kenseth. Jamie?
And this car has come to life. Marty, you talked about him. He was a lap down. The car is tightened up. 4 tire stop here. They pulled the windshield tear off. It's been hard for these guys to see out here today. A lot of debris, things flying through the air. 4 tires. That's the call for the 17.
Matt led a lap as well. He's our 13th different leader. We've had 28 lead changes here at Texas Motor Speedway today, and we still have 87 laps to go. Sam Horner's coming out also right ahead of the 17. Right now your race leader, yep, the 38 of David Gilliland started back in 33rd. He still has a scheduled pit stop. Gilliland, of course, that 38 team trying so desperately to get back into the top 35 for next year. The record lead change here is 29. We've done it twice. We've had 28 so far today, and correct me now, it's now 29 as Mr. Biffle has gotten back into the race lead. In second place is Patrick Carpentier. He has yet to make his stop. And then David Rudeman. Rudeman is, though, 1.6 seconds behind Biffle.
It looks like Biffle's team did a good job on pit road, because that 00 of Rudeman was right on his bumper when he made his pit stop.
Yeah, Greg did a good job getting on and off pit road himself, so that's what you need. Try to win these races. Takes the whole team.
Well, and tip of the hat to Kevin Harvick. He came out in 4th. Denny Hamlin's running 6th. And guess what, guys? Jeff Gordon's team did the job. He is now running 7th right behind. That's Hamlin right in front of him.
Pass the car on the track that lap, man. You're doing awesome. Doing awesome. to go.
Yeah, you see these are 2 pit stops. The 24 team did that last pit stop at 12.6, where the 48 team did the 13.7.
And you can see what it translates to on the track. The 1.1 seconds. He's now within sight of Denny Hamlin. And Kevin Harvick now has moved up to 3rd. Boy, this is getting interesting. Stay with us. Here at Texas Motor Speedway, we've got 78 laps to go, and Greg Biffle has led 181 of the 256 that we have run. He's got a 2.6 second lead over David Rudiman, the man who's won his 2 career events on the mile-and-a-half ovals. In 3rd, Kevin Harvick, 4.5 seconds behind, and Denny Hamlin running in the 4th position. Joey Logano, who has led for the first time ever in his Texas career, is in 5th, and Jimmie Johnson, the defending 4-time champion, rounds out your top 6. If you have not been with us, it has been an eventful day to say the least. The 48 pit crew, after having multiple malfunctions on pit road, made a complete swap after Jeff Burton was knocked out of the race in contact with Jeff Burton. They made the 24 crew come on over. They pitted Jimmie on his last stop, turned in a stellar performance, giving him the track position that he finally sort of calmed down a little bit. Not a lot of battle for positions as we scan the track.
Yeah, and David Reagan in the 6 car just up ahead, we saw him. He's had a day that he ran really good in the first part of the race. They had problems on pit road, had to go to the back of the pack, and then he had to dodge Kyle's effort to go more towards the front of this.
The view from out the front of Carl, and you can see his cycle. Let's get an update from pit road on the 99. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it's just as DJ described it, started the day out very well, qualified very well, and then just chased pretty much a loose race car. Carl never really said it was terrible all through this process, but you know, the last time he came down pit road, he was talking about the car being just a hair tight in the center and a hair loose off. So their adjustments were minor, and he's in a decent position as far as the speed goes as they wind it down. Let's see if he can get some more track position.
Remember, he won yesterday's Nationwide Series event on a restart. A little bit controversial, especially if you ask Kyle Busch. But he picked up the win there and trying to make it 2 in a row here at Texas Motor Speedway. From one Roush Fenway racing car to the man who's leading up front, Greg Biffle by 3.9 seconds over David Rudiman. We have talked so many times about how mistakes have played such a key role in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup, and the drama on pit road has been unbelievable. The change of an entire crew made by the Hendrick organization, bringing over the 24 crew after Jeff Gordon's car was crashed out, and the stop that they made gave Jimmie valuable track position. He is now running 6th, 10 seconds behind the race leaders, but the turmoil has not ended for the 48 crew. How about it, Vince?
Well, you did see everybody seeming to be pleased and supporting one another in regards to the change that was made here on the 48. I did see Mike Lingerfeld, who is the front tire changer for the 48 team, pack up his equipment and leave the pit box. Now, he's the only one of this group that I have seen actually leave the box during this time. But certainly these guys feel as though that they've been replaced. I mean, let's face it, it's an almost unprecedented move and certainly frustrating for their behalf, but obviously a move that Hendrick Motorsports believed they needed to do for the betterment of the 48 team and Jimmie Johnson's championship hopes.
Well, and remember, we should point out, Richard Childress made a swap, but that was in the middle of the week. We've never seen this happen during the middle of a race.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, though, that two of the three that are running for the championship have different pit crews in this race right now than they did when they started the chase.
Well, Jimmie right now 6th. He's 10 seconds behind the race leader, and this green flag stretch is now 70 laps. And that's exactly what would it look like if the race ended right now. Johnson would lead only by 4 and only 23 back to Kevin Harvick. But again, it keeps ebbing and flowing as each one of these guys passes or loses a spot on the racetrack. The drama has not ended since the drop of the green flag with those three. Not to mention the drama we had with Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon getting into a bit of a fight. Well, it wasn't a bit of a fight. It was a bit.
Yeah, good one. That was a knockdown drag out there for a second.
All right, Doc, what are you hearing on your end of the pit road?
Well, you see Mike Lingerfeld, some of the guys here from the Lowe's crew down here packing up. They are packing up the 24 pit box. And I went over and asked him, I said, who made the call? They said, we're not really sure who made it. I said, was it Rick or Chad? They said, we don't know. I said, are you okay with it? They said, yeah, we're a team player. I understand. I said, can you go on camera and talk to us about that? He said, no, Chad doesn't want us to go on camera and talk. And I said, okay, but they're down here trying to do their best for the 24 team while these guys are up pitting their car, the 48, for at least one more stop.
All right, thanks, Doc, for updating us. And meanwhile, Jimmie Johnson has fallen 11 seconds behind the race leader. I mean, Biffle has opened up a 5.3-second run. And remember when we were talking earlier regarding Biffle on the long runs, where that's where everybody seemed to reel him back in? Whatever change they made as this racetrack changed, it's worked.
Well, Biffle did slide all the way back to David Rudiman on that last green flag run, but now the track's changed more. Now Rudiman is struggling. Now it looks like the 29 car Harvick's going to go by.
And Harvick is looking to take over that second spot.
Yeah, he's made a nice run up here. As Andy said, David Rudiman struggling with his car, but what I've seen from Greg Biffle is after they changed tires this last time, he's just spanked these guys. He's run some really, really fast laps and just put some more distance between he and the rest of the field.
I think the key part of the race for Greg Biffle is when he made that green flag stop back in the middle of the race where they pulled a shim out of the left front shock, lost track position and on the track as far as time, but it was one of those changes they need to make. Now their car is right, and they don't have to worry about making changes and losing track position late in the race.
Harvick coming up on the 12 of Brad Keselowski, who clinched the nationwide championship yesterday here at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll congratulate him. He's 23rd today. Right now he's running 1 lap behind the race lead.
I give Gil Martin a lot of credit to the crew chief on this 29. This car really wasn't that great in any of the practice sessions that I saw. They didn't qualify well, but they knew that what they had and when this race was going to be ending. It looks like they've really made good changes, and they've got a good setup for the race where it's going to be decided at the end of this thing when the track conditions are a lot different than they were in practice.
And as you look around, the entire track is now in the shade, except that one little bit coming out of turn number 2. Battle for 13th is Jamie McMurray, who had a slight brush with the wall early in this race, trying to put the heat on Carl Edwards. Meanwhile, while all this goes on, Greg Biffle has now opened up a 6-second lead over Kevin Harvick here at Texas. Our race presented by GoDaddy.com.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Texas is presented by GoDaddy.com. Domains, websites, and everything in between. And in part by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile 5-year powertrain limited warranty. And Bank of America. NASCAR fans should appreciate the speed of our ATM deposits. No deposit slips, no envelope, quick and easy.
And here on lap 283, the 33's in the pits, Doc.
Clint Boyer said, and I quote, "This thing is stupid loose. It is so loose, I got to come now before I hit something out here." Major chassis adjustment, 4 tires down and away. Going to be close to making it to the end, guys.
Yeah, we still have 51 laps to go, and right now race leader Greg Biffle has a 7-second lead over Kevin Harvick. But during the break, Denny Hamlin got around David Rudiman. He is now in 3rd, and that one pass changes the points lead again. Depending on how we go right now, it would be 19 points between the 3 of them.
These 3 drivers know, as we stated early in the show, that each pass that they make could be the one that separates them just enough or gives them just enough points whenever they take the checkered flag at Homestead. They could be our new champion.
I remember what you said before the race even started. Top 5. The next 3 races may not be good enough.
Well, I think it just shows just how good these drivers and teams are that we have battling for this championship. And as I just looked at this, I said, you know, these guys are all capable of running in the top 5 every week. So you better get you about a 3rd place average for these next 3 races.
Yeah, and the 48 car is running just outside 6th. Yeah. He's not even showing in the point lead.
We'll let you know that Regan Smith has just made his pit stop. Let's get an update on the 29. Jamie?
Well, the 29, you hear him say, pit this lap. That's Kevin Harvick saying he's too hot. They've been watching the temperatures. We're just going to play some audio. Just a few moments ago, he said that he was too loose, and they're talking about how cool it's gotten. Now, the 00, on the other hand, has been screaming. His car is extremely loose. They told him, keep talking. You're getting slower 1/10 of a second every time you talk to us. Now he's happy. He's got 4 new ones on. The 29 drops down to pit road on the right-hand side. The car has been great, but as I said, he just said, all of a sudden we're loose, but the wind has picked up. It's in the lower 60s right now for these guys. 4-tire stop is the call for Kevin Harvick, who has been running in the top 3 most of this last stint. 1 long stint, Vince.
The 48 of Jimmie Johnson coming again. This is the 2nd time that the 24 crew has been pitting him. They're going to make a 4-tire change again. No chassis adjustment. They didn't make a chassis adjustment, just trying to get Jimmie a little freer off the bottom. He's been a little too snug on the bottom line.
Greg Biffle gives up the lead. He's changed his mind twice about how much wedge he wants out. I believe it's of the left. It's going to be of the left rear, I think. Yes, there it goes. 4-tire change. Car just a tick free. First he wanted half out, then he wanted nut out. Went to a 1/4. Denny Hamlin is on pit road. 4-tire change for Hamlin. His car was just a little bit needing the track bar down a half round. Just a little bit free for Denny Hamlin. Doc.
Mark Martin, 1 round up on the track bar, said the car is getting better and better, but the track is getting tighter and tighter here. 4 tires, final stop for Mark Martin, who's had a very good car all day, although he faded some, and it's cooled off here at Texas.
Pit stops continue. You saw that 12.3 second stop. The 17's in, Jamie.
All day long, and Bono calling for a major air pressure adjustment. He is down and away after changing 4 tires.
So the cycle continues through, and notice the 31 coming back out onto the track. Jeff Burton. They had to paint a number on the side of the door, but the 31 back out onto the racetrack. He is 97 laps down to the race lead. Now, we mentioned Joey Logano had some problems getting into his pit box, and it has cost him a few spots out on the track.
Yeah, bad timing here. Carl Edwards was leaving his. Carl was driving through his pit. His crew couldn't even get out there, so cost him a little bit of time here. Going to cost him a spot getting back out on the track, too.
So here at the AAA Texas 500, Joey Logano slips back to 7th. Greg Biffle is your race leader, but his lead now has been chopped to 2.9 seconds. Kevin Harvick is 2nd. Denny Hamlin is 3rd. Then Rudiman is 4th. Scott Speed is 5th, but I think he still has to make a pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he does. And then you've got Jimmie Johnson running in 6th. That's your top 6 right now. There you see Joey Logano in 7th, right behind Jimmie. You know, we were talking about green flag stretches. As you watch this, if it stays green, it'll be 134 laps. Remember last year, the last 122 were green. 4:43 to go. Welcome back to the AAA Texas 500. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. We've had a new record for lead changes here, 31 today between 13 drivers. That man, Greg Biffle's led the most. So far, 219 laps and counting. His lead is 3.5 seconds over Denny Hamlin. That's right. During the commercial break, Denny managed to get around Kevin Harvick, and he has put some distance between he and Kevin to the tune of about 1.25 seconds. Show you the pass right here.
Harvick looks like he's struggling a little bit with this race car right now. Maybe a little bit on the free side. Denny Hamlin goes by on the outside pretty easily.
And remember when Hamlin won here back in April, he started 29th in that race. Today, listed 30th, actually started 28th after everybody made the changes, moving to the rear. And here he is, trying to cut into that lead of Greg Biffle. Let's find out an update on Kevin Harvick's situation. He's sort of fading back a little bit. Jamie, what's going on?
He is, and DJ, you're so right. Just before the 11 passed the 29, Kevin came on the radio and said, guys, how many more laps do we have? Because this car is way too loose, and we are jumped.
Well, that's not the kind of news that he wanted to hear.
No, and whenever you get to this part of the race, you're obviously getting a little bit fatigued. Your speeds are picking up, so it's making it even more difficult because you're having to run a lot faster to keep up with the track conditions the way that they are now. So all of those things working against Kevin Harvick right now.
Kyle Busch not a factor today after going 3 laps down. Caution on the track.
Straight away, don't see it.
And they say we have debris out on the track. So it is now our 8th caution of the day. And our longest green flag run comes to a halt here with 35 laps to go. That solves everybody's fuel issue as far as when they want to stop. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody could have made it anyway, but this is going to change things for sure. You got to think this plays a little bit into Biffle's hands. His car's been so fast on the short run, but now with the track changing so much.
That helped us earlier.
Yeah. And what about Jimmie Johnson also? That last 2 pit stops, the only 12-second pit stops that have been turned in, and they've been done by the 24 crew working on the 48.
Yeah, done that. And how about Andy? We've seen 2 tires most of the day. I would think in this situation they don't have a lot of laps on them.
They only have 13 laps, 13, 14 laps since they pitted. You're liable to see some two-tire stops here.
I don't think you can give up a lot of track
Probably have to
position.
be the call up front.
That was a 100-lap green flag stretch that we just completed. And Greg Biffle has now led 223 of the 300 laps that we have run here at Texas. And we always talk about how important pit stops are. None more important than the one we are about to see. Let you know that Patrick Carpentier will get the lucky dog. Patrick will make a 21 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing. And there is the debris.
Yeah, Patrick Carpentier has had a great run today. Like I said, just fell off the lead lap.
So as the cars make their way around, wait, when the sun's going down, you should see this track. They have the caution lights actually built into the fence all the way around the front straightaway here. And the fans, there they are, as you can see them. And here we go. Down to pit road. Jamie, you're up first.
Kevin Harvick needs to be tightened up. They're going to lower the track bar. Right sides only for the 29. Vince.
Trying to get Jimmie Johnson's car to be just right for these final 33 laps. They're going to make a track bar adjustment a half round down, and it's going to be a two-tire stop for the 48. Dave?
Denny Hamlin likes the balance. He'll take 2 fresh tires, and they'll send him back out. Greg Biffle wanted a slight adjustment on the 16 car. He gets 2 tires, and he's gone.
Who's going to get the race off pit road? Here comes Joey Logano out, and Kevin Harvick picks up 2. So Harvick's crew did the job again. They've had a strong day. Logano picks up 2.
But Biffle,
yeah, Biffle, yeah, he was really spinning the tires there, and it cost Jimmie Johnson his spot too.
Let's show you one more look at it. And Kevin Harvick, remember when they made their pit crew swap? And here is the race off. By that much, Harvick gets Hamlin. And yeah, Gill and the crew really love it because right now they are running to the front. Beautiful view here at Texas Motor Speedway. The lights have come on as we are now down.
There, Biffle lost some time getting his car going off the pit when they made the pit stop, just going up to speed. His pit stop time wasn't that bad.
Let's listen to Greg's radio.
Joe, I don't know. You got to tell everybody behind me I don't got second gear, so we don't get wrecked here.
Oh, that must have been what happened coming off pit road there. He must have torn something up in the transmission.
So the first glitch that we've seen today on the 16, Dave.
It was a stop before the green flag stop. Crew Chief Greg Irwin told me they broke something in the transmission, doesn't have second gear. This last time, he just spun it getting up, but he didn't have second to go to either.
All right, well, let's find out what happens because we're back to green flag racing.
Well, watch Greg Biffle there. He laid back quite a bit. He's running in third gear there right now, so that he's going to make the best of this situation, but he may have a lot of problems with that transmission.
See him going up on the high side. He's got to give some room there because he's just not up to speed. Manages to not get collected by anybody. Meanwhile, up front, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart trying to hold on, but here comes Hamlin on the high side. You got Hamlin running third, Harvick fourth, Jimmie Johnson's back in ninth. And remember at the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about those other 40 drivers that they too want to make their statement. They want to win races. Well, this is the moments we've been waiting for. Here we go with Mark Martin, who wants to win so badly this year.
Yeah, so it's this 11 car. Denny Hamlin trying to go to the lead right now when it really counts.
He's going to get it too.
Well, remember when Denny won this race? In April, he only led the last 12 laps. It looks like he's going to become our 14th different leader. Or actually, he did lead earlier, but it will be where he takes the lead now with just 28 laps to go.
Yeah, look at Matt Kenseth go by Kevin Harvick.
So Kenseth on the move. And remember, he was one lap down at one point. So for Harvick, he gets bumped back to fifth.
Jimmie Johnson's fallen back another spot. Greg Biffle's finally got his car in high gear there and going forward again.
See Jimmy near the top of your screen. Look at the points, the way it would swing. Denny Hamlin would take over the lead. It'd be 54 all the way back to Kevin Harvick. And remember at the beginning of the day, Mike Ford said we are going to win this race. Well, Denny Hamlin is now out in front. And Mike Ford is making his 200th career start as a crew chief today. Tony Stewart right now all over the back bumper of the 17.
Yeah, but Matt just took that position and he's headed to the front.
What a way for Mike to cap off his 200th start for Joe Gibbs Racing as a crew chief. If he can bring Denny home up front, and Denny's starting to stretch it out by about half a second now over Mark Martin. Kenseth still running third. You can see how the gap is widening a little bit more.
I tell you, that's something that Denny Hamlin has in his corner, is a crew chief like Mike Ford that really does a good job working with the driver, working with the crew, and it's just he puts countless hours in and trying to make this race team and this car the very best for Denny Hamlin.
Mike there on your right side with the glasses on. Let's check in on Greg Biffle. Now that he's up to full song, doesn't have to worry about second gear. Biffle going for the position on Rudeman. That is for 6th on the racetrack. There's still enough time for Biffle to get back the way that car's been running.
Yeah, he really just needs to hope that there's not another caution. That's going to be really his only chance, if he has a chance, is to make sure that this thing goes the rest of the way green. I'm not sure he's got enough time the way Denny Hamlin's running right now.
We talked about the fact that the last 8 races here in the chase, I mean, nobody that's led the most laps has ended up winning. Battle for second brewing between Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth. They're now almost a full second behind race leader Denny Hamlin. And there goes Kenseth underneath. What a comeback for the 17.
Yeah, I'm not sure he doesn't have something for Denny Hamlin. His car really looks good right now.
See Joey Logano passing David Rudeman. Rudeman's still struggling with his car. Just trying to come back to the inside.
Actually, the last lap, even with that pass, Matt Kenseth was just a couple hundredths faster than Denny.
And you see behind those two on the right, Logano, Rudeman, it is Jimmie Johnson. He is still stuck in 9th position. Now with 22 laps remaining, if Jimmy has anything left, he's got to start showing it. And here comes Greg Biffle as he's about to move Kevin Harvick back another spot. So move Biffle up to 5th. Harvick has slid back to 6th, and that's the one thing Harvick did not want to see happen.
Yeah, he's going to lose another one too. Looks like Joey Logano is going to get past him.
Joey, who has been one of our 13 different leaders, trying to get underneath the 29.
Not going to happen this lap. Looks like he's going to give it a shot here. Oh yeah, he's going to drive right by Kevin.
And behind them, here comes the 48, trying to get underneath Rudeman.
Yeah, no, that's a way you can be a good teammate too, right there. What Joey Logano's doing, he obviously is out there trying to make as many spots as he can, but he realized every position that he can put between Denny Hamlin and his competitors for this championship only helps Denny.
Jimmie right now in the 9th spot, still trying to fight his way back up front. He has now fallen 4.5 seconds behind the race lead. Hamlin's lead over Kenseth is 1.6 seconds. That's what it looks like down the backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like Denny kicked in another gear too. He was about 2/10 quicker that last lap than Matt Kenseth.
And the laps continue to wind down. Next time by, we'll have 19 to go here at Texas.
And you see how hard Jimmy's driving that car. It is really loose off the corner.
Let's get an update from Vince.
You know, Chad Knaus told me early in the day that they were going to have to build a lot of adjustability into this car because they knew the conditions were going to change from the heat of the day into the nighttime hours as the race concludes with the sun down. They've certainly been chasing it with chassis adjustments in 3 of their last 4 stops, trying to get Jimmie Johnson something that he can work with. Obviously, track position is key. They've struggled in the pits today. The Jeff Gordon crew, the 24 guys have pitted this team the last 3 times. Earlier, we reported that Mike Lingefeld, the front tire changer of the 48, had actually packed up some of his things and left the pit box. He has since returned, but the 24 guys have given the 48 team 3 flawless stops here in the late stages of this race.
Boy, left side of your screen, Vince, as you finish up the 48's getting passed by Paul Menard on the right side. Biffle's gotten around the 14 to Tony Stewart. So move Biffle up into 4th. And now Jimmie Johnson in 10th.
Look at that 0029. 17 to go.
You heard the call. 17 to go. And you heard the report. The 29 may have hit the wall. Check the right side.
Yeah, it looks like there could be some damage over there.
Harvick right now shown in the 7th position.
Both right side tires got it, Gil. Simple, maybe it'll help him.
Just pushing hard.
Oof. Oh.
I think we're in big trouble more.
From on board, just listen.
Killed it. Just killed it, guys.
You heard him say we could be in big trouble. That's David Ruderman coming up behind him.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how sensitive area that right rear quarter panel is on these cars. So hear Harvick talking about that. He's killed it, and they're in big trouble right now. With 15 laps to go, he's got to find some way to get this car home and salvage as much as he can out of this. Ruderman's going down low. You can see Jimmie Johnson coming up as well. He holds him off for now. And one good thing is we're not seeing any tire smoke on the right side of that 29. Here comes Ruderman again down on the low line. And again, Harvick holds him off. You're not missing anything up front. Hamlin's lead is now 1.8 seconds. We're watching Kevin Harvick because he is in some trouble, to say the least. Here comes Ruderman again. And again, Harvick holds him. Yeah, he's able to make that high line work just enough. He's having to tiptoe around a little bit more than what he was right now. The car's not good, but he can get a nice run and keep Ruderman back behind him as they come across the stripe again.
So David cannot get enough clearance to just slide up in front of him. And here comes Menard to try his hand at it with Jimmie Johnson not too far behind.
See Kevin get that huge run once again.
But that high view gives you such a great angle on that to show you that momentum.
That's where Ruderman almost had him cleared the last time, but doesn't look like he's going to get it done again.
Closer, but not quite enough. 12 laps remaining here. Hamlin's lead is now 1.9 seconds. And here comes Menard to give Ruderman some trouble.
Yeah, really loosened Ruderman up. He gave him a lot of trouble.
Ruderman really getting loose there.
And Jimmie Johnson getting into the mix.
See, Menard had to crack the throttle a little bit to give Ruderman a little bit of room. That allowed Jimmie Johnson to come back to the high side.
And look at Menard get a good bite on the low side.
3 wide. This is the best action we have on the racetrack. And Jimmie Johnson goes around both Ruderman and Menard. It's like somebody lit the wick.
Now that was 8 points right there in one little swing at it.
Jimmy now has Harvick right in front of him, and the laps continue to wind down. Next time by, it'll be 10 to go. And Hamlin's lead still 1.8 seconds over Matt Kenseth. Menard's not giving up on the 48. Here they go side by side.
I think Menard might get both of these. Start really good on the low side 3 and 4.
Well, it looks like we're going to try this maybe 3 wide again as they come around the corner. And everybody thinks better of it.
You can just see how difficult it is to keep the momentum that you need on the exit of the corner because they flatten out so quickly. You just have to really be careful and make sure that you give that driver on the outside enough room.
Side by side, Jimmy, Kevin. Here they come to the stripe. 9 laps to go. The last thing Harvick wanted to see is that 48 getting ahead of him, and it just happened.
They didn't want to see that, and Denny Hamlin stepping up to the plate right here at the end of the race and just really whipping the rest of these guys.
Well, today it has not been the fault of the pit crew on the 29. They have given him some great stops. That one slip that he tags the wall, and he finds himself dropping. Let's go back here. This is a replay and a little nudge.
Little bum drafting.
You can see Jimmy got a nice run down it going into the corner, but Harvick's able to get that big run off the corner.
And
it's a little bit of a bump.
Can't get any closer than that.
Good job. Roger.
There's the race leader with now 7 laps going. We got a caution too. Patrick Carpentier.
So I got to let her flat.
Get around the leader here. Let's go. Fire it up.
That is our 9th caution of the day. He gets it refired. And Hamlin's 1.8 second lead is wiped out.
Well, just what Denny Hamlin did not want to see. They had this race well in hand.
Right now, the lap times were really close between Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin right there when the caution came out.
Something fell apart at the back there.
Hamlin in first right now. And then you've got Jimmie Johnson running 7th, Kevin Harvick in 9th. Let's go back and show you what happened to Patrick Carpentier. He was running 22nd.
They just lost it.
I thought maybe that tire came down, went down right there.
Great job by Casey Mears to keep from getting into him as well.
Yeah, that left rear was down.
So, with 6 laps to go, what do you want to do, crew chief?
Stay out.
What about if you're one of those cars maybe 10th back?
You probably pit back there.
You're not going to have.
Not going to matter as far as who's going to win.
The big thing is going to be here is Greg Biffle without second gear. He's going to restart 4th up on that high side. Tony Stewart's going to be behind him. Jimmie Johnson's going to be 7th.
We can tell you that the number 9 is going to get the lucky dog, so Eric Almirola will come around, get back on the lead lap. That'll give us 23 cars on the lead lap. Let's listen in on the 29 radio.
Rather have you in this position than anybody I know of. You can get her done here.
Richard Childress encouraging Kevin. You see Kevin pulling those belts tight. He's getting ready to make a run at it here.
Find out who is going to take advantage of the situation, who stays out as they come around turn number 4.
If they start back about 10th and come in, they could make a difference in this race then.
You heard the call, stay out, do not pit, but we do see
Stewart have a lot. And
Tony Harvick's coming in.
Oh man, a lot of them come behind them too.
Only 6 cars stay out. Jamie.
When Harvick got into the wall, he said it tightened him up so much. He said, you know what, guys, we're not going to lose a lot here. Let's pit. Free me up. There, you see him on the track bar adjustment there. Right side's only for the 29, guys. Let's see if it works.
Well, they're rolling the dice, that's for sure. A number of other cars decided to pit as well, as you can see.
I think the key thing here is Harvick brought a lot of cars down pit road, and this is going to make this will make a difference.
You see, he gets first out off of pit road as well. Tony Stewart farther back.
I think Tony took 4 tires there.
So this is getting interesting again. Every time we think we know what's going to happen, another curveball hits us. I can tell you that down, it was the first 8 cars that stayed out. And then some others as well. We'll sort of sort it all out for you. In fact, it was now the 14.
I think the key thing is Denny Hamlin's got enough buffer. Enough cars stayed out for him and Kenseth to kind of settle it, I think. And maybe even Biffle, and we don't know what's going to happen back behind them.
Yeah, but I think Jimmie Johnson could be in danger of losing some spots to these guys that got fresher tires there. Jimmy's car is not that good right now.
Yeah, he's in the vulnerable spot because he doesn't have a big buffer between him and the cars with tires. So he could be the one on the hot seat.
Well, Alan, let's send it down your way and recap what has been a very eventful afternoon.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, you've missed quite the day here at Texas Motor Speedway so far. It started with monkeys selling programs outside the racetrack.
Yep.
Chicks with chainsaws, part of the No Limits event for season ticket holders.
Chainsaws and monkeys thus far.
Earlier, we've had a fight on the racetrack.
Hey, look at that.
A little cauliflower here.
They're both pretty good at that.
And Jeff Burton. We had a pit crew benched after Gordon's car was wrecked. The 48 team not getting it done today. The 24 sent in to replace them. And still, we have dramatics in the late laps with the closest chase ever coming down to a final sprint to the finish and a restart with a 3-lap run to the checkered flag. Denny Hamlin leading and the whole strategy shuffle that has gone on. The chase leader with 2 races to go has won the championship every year of this championship format. Denny's leading it for now. Marty, DJ, and Andy.
Alan, here's the thing to look at. Hamlin, Kenseth, Martin, Biffle, Logano, Johnson. That's your top 6, but look at where Biffle is, right in front of Jimmie. And remember, he has no second gear, guys.
That could be a problem for not only Biffle, but for Jimmie Johnson. I mean, if he doesn't get going, he needs to be ready for this.
And notice the room that Biffle is trying to give as we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing.
Yeah, NASCAR doesn't really look fondly on this. They want everybody closed up.
Well, he's closing up now. And the green flag flies. We're going to set. And look at Jimmie. He cannot get around Biffle because Biffle can't get up to speed.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of cars coming on tires behind him.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick, one of those down on the inside of Jimmie already and passing him.
Got him side by side for the lead, also off of 2.
And Harvick down low. We're going to go 3 wide. And look at Biffle.
For the lead.
Battle for the lead up front. Hamlin, Kenseth going after each other. Can Kenseth pull this off after being a lap down? Next time by, 2 laps remaining. Hamlin, oh so desperately wants to win
there though. He's going to make the pass, get into 1 here.
Kenseth, can he get him through? He's got him. Matt Kenseth, your race leader.
Hamlin's trying to cross back over. Kenseth ran out of room off of 2.
Here comes Mark Martin.
We told you guys hungry for wins. Matt Kenseth is one of them. Mark Martin's another. How about Joey Logano in 4th and Greg Biffle, who wants win number 3 on 2010. White flag out. 1 lap to go. Right now, it's Hamlin out front. Harvick's in the 6th position. Jimmie Johnson's all the way back in 10th. The points are going to change. Coming down the backstretch. The last time Jimmie Johnson was not the point leader following race number 7 in the chase was 2005. And we've only got 2 corners to negotiate. And Denny Hamlin is going to make a statement saying, if the drive for 5 is alive, you're going to have to come through me. Look at this, going to the stripe. Woof. 5 cars in that mix.
Jimmie Johnson just barely beat Paul Menard back to the line there. Pick up a few points.
We have got a new championship race leader, and his name is Denny Hamlin.
Great job, Mike. You made that car great at the end. 10 times better. I love you guys. I told you I was going to pick it up with 3 to go. It's on.
Well, you heard it.
You kept your promise from yesterday. We get you in the top 5. You take care of it. You did.
The 3 chase contenders. Denny Hamlin 1st, Kevin Harvick 6th, Jimmie Johnson 9th. Let's talk to Mike Ford, Dave.
Well, we're catching up with him now as he cleans up some stuff here, puts a few things away. Got to know what you think about those comments from your driver who just took it to him.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, you know, it's an emotional win. You know, this is the place where if we want to win this championship, we needed to win this race. And we did it. These guys worked hard. We didn't have a good car the first half of the race, but you know, we kept working at it. Denny stayed calm. You know, when an opportunity arose, we took advantage. So, you know, it's awesome day. You know, I think it's more to come in the next couple of weeks.
You told me this morning that anytime you got down this weekend, this crew stayed calm and cool, including the driver.
Yeah, that was the key. You know, last week, you know, at Talladega, we kind of lost our composure a little bit. You know, it was intense, but now that was behind us, we just needed to take a breath, clear our minds, stay focused on what we needed to do, and we did it today. We've got 2 more races to go.
All right, congratulations on a great win. That's Mike Ford, crew chief for the 11. Vince.
Chad. With Chad Knaus here as Chad's walking through the garage area. Have a conversation with Chad. There we go. Chad, how would you characterize the day that you guys had today?
It was a pretty rough day for sure. You know, unfortunate that it turned out the way we did. We thought we were doing really good, but you know, we lost some track position. And when you get back there, you don't know exactly how you need to tune on the car, and it got a little edgy for him. And then after we got back up front, you know, then it got too tight. So you know, we just couldn't maintain our track position. That hurt us pretty bad today.
Who ultimately made the decision to have the 24 guys pitch your car?
Well, I mean, ultimately it's my decision, obviously, but we needed to do something. You know, this is a team, and the 248 shop has always operated as a team, and that's the way that we see it. It's sad that we have to do that, but you know, in the interest of Hendrick Motorsports and what we got to do, you know, you got to do that stuff. It's not uncommon. We've seen it happen before, and you know, we'll get home and we'll try to get it fixed up and get our boys back.
What will you do next week as you look ahead to Phoenix?
Well, I'm hoping that you know, we get back with the 48 guys and we get everybody's confidence up and get this thing going right in the right direction. You know, it's not like, you know, it's not what we want to do, but you know, sometimes things just need to be adjusted a little bit, and we had to do that today.
Thanks, Jimmy. Or Chad, excuse me. Doc.
Jimmie Johnson climbing out of his car here in the garage area and getting a drink of water. Jimmy, I know it was we just talked to Chad. He talked about what a tough afternoon it was for you. Take us through your day.
Yeah, you know, it was just a long day. I mean, we had speed in the car and would work our way forward, and then had some issues on pit road, and I feel terrible for my guys, so we had to make a change there. But you know, 24 guys came in and did their part and did a great job. We gave away so much track position at the beginning, and it just was tough for us to kind of get back to where we needed to. And there at the end, we were coming along pretty well. That caution kind of came at a time where we didn't need it. And then in front of me on the restart was the 16 missing first and second gear. And a lot of guys pitted behind us, and I was kind of at the back of the guys without taking tires, and just kind of slipped from there. So long day, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a team sport. We didn't do our jobs today, but we'll come back next week and try again.
You're in uncharted territory right now. Normally this time of year, you're the points leader, and now you're 33 points back going to Phoenix and Homestead. What's your mindset now?
Well, the last 4 years we've been in a different position. It's you know, I've lost plenty of championships in the past. I mean, this is racing. It doesn't come easy. You're not going to get what you want every single year and every single weekend. But I can promise you this: I'm trying as hard as I can. I know my team is, and we're going to do everything we can. 33 backs is not where we want to be, but we're going to work hard to get back on top.
Jimmie Johnson not out of it at all, folks. Going to get them hard in Phoenix and Homestead.
What an impressive day for Matt Kenseth. They were 1 lap down at one point, and at the end, you guys almost won this thing. Matt, what happened between you and Denny Hamlin right at the finish?
Yeah, almost. I mean, nothing happened. We just got a really good restart, and gosh, you just hate. I've lost a lot of close ones here, and it seems like I always come up last there. I think we led the last lap, but I just Denny was getting all the air off me like he should. I do the same thing, you know, racing for the win. And when we drove down into one, we were pretty much side by side, and I just got to the gas real early to try to clear him. And I was kind of surprised I did, and because I was going so fast early, I had to lift again to get the car off the corner. And when I let off the gas, the car just went straight and went across track, and I just couldn't hold it, and I had to let off the gas again. So that's disappointing, but hey, these Crown Royal Black guys did a great job today. We haven't been in contention for many, if any, wins this year, so it feels good to be up there in contention, but sure would have liked to win it.
It was sure exciting to watch. He brings it home second today. Marty?
A great run for Matt Kenseth. And looking ahead, remember Phoenix last year? Jimmie Johnson won it. Second place, Denny Hamlin. Let's go celebrate in Victory Lane. How about it, Dave Burns?
Knaus, for a guy who was coming in looking to take the lead in the championship, maybe get a win, you did both. What's that feel like?
What a run. Just can't say enough for this whole FedEx team. Told everyone I'd wait till 3 to go, and I felt like that was aggressive as I've been on restarts all year, and I did what I had to do. So can't thank all FedEx and their employees enough. Fred Smith, I know you're watching, I'll talk to you in a minute, but just everyone from FedEx for supporting me right from the get-go. The whole JGR 11 team, the fans, Sprint, Coca-Cola, Wiley X, and Toyota. Can't say enough for this Toyota Camry to be on top, and this is a big deal for everyone in Toyota camp. They spent a lot of money and a lot of effort to help this sport grow and be one of the top manufacturers, and I'm proud to put him #1.
What is it about Texas Motor Speedway? You came off the knee surgery and you come here and win, and now this.
I don't know, we're at the beginning of the race, we're struggling, we're running 25th, and I can't go anywhere, and just we kept working on it. Every stop we kept adjusting, and as soon as it went nightfall, our car just took off, and that's why you can never look at qualifying and practice, and everyone looks into it, but I know what our car's got.
He called the spring win a turning point in his season. I'd call this one a turning point in the championship, Alan.
Yes, sir. Denny Hamlin, we talked about when we started the day on NASCAR Countdown, how he said a lot of things in this chase, and he's backed every one of them up. He said he'd go with 3 races to go. He's
going, baby. I tell you, it is so shaken up right now. This is exciting stuff.
I just wonder if he can see into the future. He said he was going to win Martinsville, and he did. He said he was going to turn it up here, and he did. I mean, what's this guy know that everybody else doesn't know?
Well, the future holds races at Phoenix and Homestead, Miami to ring out this chase for the Sprint Cup. If you'd like to join us at the racetrack, NASCAR.com/tickets or that phone number on the screen. Final thoughts.
We're going to a flat racetrack out in Phoenix, Arizona. That's a whole different style track. It's going to be interesting what happens, although when I think of Hamlin, he's awful good in those flat racetracks, but you know what? The other 2 are also.
Knew these 3 would be in the mix today. I'm totally shocked, though, to come out of here seeing Denny Hamlin ahead. I cannot wait to get to Phoenix next week.
Saturday Nationwide Series coverage presented by Dodge. 4 Eastern, ESPN2. Next Sunday, the Cobalt Tools 500. Second to last race in the chase for the Sprint Cup. That's ESPN at 3 Eastern and Countdown at 2 Eastern. Sports Center next. Carl Edwards will join us. More post-race coverage from here in Texas. Denny Hamlin wins a thriller.